Beau DeMayo. He's taking a little break from promoting his Only Fans, okay?
Wow.
And he found time to call out Marvel for race-swapping white villains.
Why take the established characters and then make them something else? And black people villainized enough. You don't need to embed that more into people's psyche.
Yeah, I think that there's so many characters out there that we don't need to race swap certain characters.
Right.
You want to make a movie about Hispanic hero, family, the whole deal. Don't take Batman and make him Colombian.
Right.
Just find a Hispanic character like Blue Beetle and make a cool story about him. They don't know how to read the room.
Right.
It's like hey, let's fix racism. Let's get rid of Aunt Jemima on the syrup bottle. What's that gonna do?
Nothing.
Get rid of Uncle Ben's rice. Like, what? How does that help anyone? Jason Momoa is returning to DC, Adrian. He will make his DCU debut as Lobo in Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow.
I think him playing that role is perfection.
Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner.
Miss?
Marvel Rivals has soloed Overwatch. They're cooked, as the kids say, and Fortnite is next. All right. Welcome to Only Comics. I'm Mike. This is Adrian.
What's up, man?
What's up, bro?
Little fog, man.
What's up with the fog, Adrian?
I don't know what's going on, man. It got me this week.
It did.
You notice the change in the voice?
Yeah.
It's not the cream this week.
No? It's not a new mutation or anything?
Not a mutation.
Damn.
Well, it is a mutation.
It is, yeah, definitely.
It's a mucus mutation.
Yep. Dude, I saw that. You know me, I watch TikTok. That's how I learn everything nowadays since I'm out of school, I find everything I learned comes right from TikTok.
Sure.
I learned that the government, somebody put something in the fog, Adrian. There was fog last week, around Christmas. Remember that day you couldn't see shit?
Right.
It was actually pretty cool. I felt like I was driving into Gotham City,
There you go.
Except I wasn't. We're still here, unfortunately. But, dude, ever since the fog, everyone's been like, coughing, hacking shit up. They can't breathe. So they put something in the fog, Adrian.
Yep, they put something in the fog, and the artificial birds are moving it around.
Dude, there's really artificial birds now. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Dude, I saw there was like some drone bird looking shit, and it looked legit, dude.
Okay, well, here we go.
Here we go, dude.
Now we got drones over at Jersey.
Well, they're just trying to distract us from the drones.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, I walked in, bro. I saw how slick your tires were outside. Did you put some Armor All on them bitches?
Yeah, I got something. I forget what it's called, but I'm liking it though.
Yeah?
It's better than Armor All because Armor All, if you put it on, and it kind of fades, after a little, like a half a day or something.
Yep,
right?
yep.
But this stuff's been on since yesterday. But I did put some more on it today.
Okay.
Just because, like in the wintertime, how the rubber gets like cracky and all that kind of stuff. But nah, man, I just trying to make it look like something.
Yo, it's looking slick, bro. And since you asked, what does that have to do with comics? Nothing at all. Because this is Only Comics, Adrian, where you and I get together once a week and we discuss comics and only comics.
Well, since we open with other stuff, clearly there's some other stuff.
Sometimes some other stuff, a little bit. Well, appreciate y'all joining us. There's a lot of news this week again, Adrian. A lot of DC stuff. Now, the last time that, we saw each other here, well, we don't see y'all, you guys comment. But last time we got together, I was a little angry. Well, remember that?
Yeah, I do.
About the Batman. So actually, if you go to the wide shot real quick, Adrian, I brought something in here. So because James Gunn isn't going to give us Batman and Penguin, I figured I would. So I brought in some pop vinyls here of Oz, my man. Well, not my man, Oz. Oz, who needs to get taken down by Battinson.
Right.
But we won't see for like another 10 years or something. So anyways, so there's that. But believe it or not, James Gunn's talking again, Adrian. He is trying to rationalize his decision that he made, or his statements that he made. So I'll say that he went full on politician in this, okay? So we talked last week about The Batman originally. Let's even back up. The Batman, the first installment of this Matt Reeves trilogy, dropped in theaters March 4th of 2023. So about a year before we started doing this thing, right? The sequel was announced at CinemaCon in April of 22. So next month, hey, we're dropping a sequel. Cool. Greenlit. The original release date, actually, this isn't even the original because it was planned to come out earlier, and then we had the writer's strike and all these other unforeseen events, right? But as of late, the original release date or most recent, was October 2nd of 2026. It's now been delayed to October 1st of 2025. Okay. So that is 5.5 years between movie 1 and movie 2. Okay. Man. So this is what he said. He goes, to be fair, a 5-year gap, he being James Gunn, a 5-year gap is more, 5-year gap or more is fairly common in sequels. Okay, so that's lie number 1. 7 years, and just listen to the movies he picks. 7 years between Alien and Aliens. Okay, first of all, when they dropped the first Aliens, they had no intentions on a sequel, so that's a little different. 14 years between Incredibles. Well, same thing there. The Incredibles dropped years ago. Pixar, they don't typically do part 2s of those movies. So, lie number 2. First 2 Terminators. Same thing there, right? Terminator 1 dropped.
Yep. Probably got some Avatar in there.
Yep. It's funny. It's almost like you're reading my sheet here. 13 years between Avatars. So these are, and then here's the last one. No, actually, there's 2 more. 36 years between Top Gun.
There's that.
There's that. And then 6 years between Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2 and Volume 3. So there's a couple things here. Alien was a critical and financial success, okay, back in 1979. I never even seen this movie, actually, before my time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Dude.
I know you gave me a disappointed look again.
Wow, man.
What's worse, the fact that I haven't seen Alien or the fact that I haven't seen Gladiator?
Well, Aliens, actually.
Okay. All right, Alien. Now, Fox didn't consider a sequel until 1983. So 4 years later, they decided to, hey, we should do a sequel.
Right.
And then that was released in 87. So 4 years after that.
Right.
All right. I feel like James Gunn is comparing apples to oranges. Is that a fair statement?
I agree, yeah.
So I decided to go above and beyond, Adrian. I did a little homework, okay? So I decided to test his theory here that 5 years is normal between, sequels. Now, we're not just talking any sequel. We're talking first movie, second movie, right? Because sometimes in third, fourth, hey, they made 4 movies. We don't know if we're making another one. Then 10 years later, they decide to make a sequel.
Right.
That's not what we got have going
exactly.
on here. Which is like you mentioned, the Avatar.
Yep.
I mean, James Cameron was he was on a 13-year sabbatical and then decided to make another movie.
Right. Which he should not have.
Yeah, I didn't see that. You didn't like it, though.
No, not at all.
And I like the first one.
Well, I won't say not at all.
Okay.
But it's mostly a war movie.
Gotcha.
With a resurrected guy in it as opposed to a continuation of the elegance of the first movie.
Got it.
It was something completely different.
Okay. So I looked at 40 different movie series, Adrian. So 40 movies that have at least 3 movies in their series, okay? So we're talking things like Iron Man, okay? The original Batman, Superman, Toy Story, Twilight series, Harry Potter. There's damn near, 7, 8 of those damn movies. Fast and Furious, I think they're on movie 32 right now.
Right.
Friday the 13th. 50 Shades of Grey. I went to all different genres, okay? Planet of the Apes, Ninja Turtles, The Matrix, one of your favorites, okay? And if you had to guess, out of these 40, okay, how many of these series had more than 5 years between their first and second film? Would you say it was more than 20 of them? More or less than 15? More or less than 10? More or less than 5? What do you think?
I would say probably less than 10.
Okay. You are right. But it's actually even less than that.
No, I figured it would be less than that. Because like the ones like The Matrix, there was a long stretch between that one. But again, nobody knew what was going to happen with these things.
Correct. Now, of all of these 40 different series, here are the 4 series.
Damn.
Only 4. Where the gap between the first 2 movies was 5 years or more. Okay?
And I can probably guarantee you that they had no intention of making a second movie.
There you go. So the first one, Men in Black, our boy Will Smith, before he was slapping folks on stage, back when he was just fighting aliens. That dropped in 1997. Men in Black 2 came out in 2002, so 5 years later.
Okay.
And I do not believe there were any plans for a sequel
at
that early. The Santa Claus. Tim Allen, There was no plans for a sequel after that. That first installment dropped in 1994. Then, unfortunately, 8 years later, they decided to make a part 2. Because, dude, the Santa Claus, I know we're a little past the Christmas, you know.
I actually like those movies.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All of them, or?
No, once you get, like, to the third one, it kind of, like, you know, dwindled out. But I still watch Christmas with the Cranks.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah, Tim Allen, dude, he's in like 2 different Christmas franchises, bro. It's almost like he's got to have that rule, you know, in the comic. He can be in no more Christmas movies now.
There you go.
He's got 2. But so 8 years later, Cars, the animated movie from again, I don't think that one planned. They didn't plan on having a sequel there.
Right.
06, first Cars 2 drops in 2011, and then Friday. Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, one of the best movies of all time. Same thing. I don't know if there was a sequel plan there. That dropped in 95, 2000. So of these 40 damn movie series, about 10% of them, there were 5 years or more between the first 2 installments. Would you consider that normal then?
Sure. I mean, to have out of 40,
Yep.
to have a percentage of them not. Because now the norm is 5 years or less, not 5 years or more.
Right.
So out of the norm, you would have some, you know, some exceptionals.
Yes.
Which is 5 or more years. So yeah, that's
these are outliers.
Yeah, outliers.
But he says a 5-year gap or more is fairly common. That would be a lie.
That is absolutely a lie. Now, also in today's day, so when you can make a movie like Madam Web or any of the fucking non-Spiderman Spider-Man movies,
Morbius.
right? Morbius. So you can make some shitty movies. So why am I saying that? Well, you know today whether you're going to make 1, 2, 3, or 5 movies.
Correct.
And you can space them out. And you can even get away with having a couple of them that are shitty.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yep.
Right? So there's no reason for him today to say that it's normal to have a 5-year gap between movies.
Right.
Absolutely. Besides that, James Gunn, by the time your second movie comes out, nobody even knows who you are anymore,
Exactly.
dude. You know? You're going to be some... who is James Gunn, dude?
I don't even know who you are.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, it just like just own it. Go. You know what? Shit's a little fucked up right now.
Right.
We don't know what to do. Like we're gonna put this on pause because a lot of the comments online, you know, people are trying to calm me down, Adrian. They were like, you know what, Mike? Listen, it may be a good thing. Some people have said, you know, if you give them more time to work on the film, maybe you know, we don't want them to rush things out. Okay, I hear that, But just say that. Like, you literally sound like a politician here.
Right.
Like, oh, it's pretty normal. 5 years. No, the fuck it's not. Based off of out of 40 different series, only 4 of them have 5-year gaps or more between their first 2 movies.
And most of them were at a time when they didn't have the technology where they just spit out stuff right now.
Yep.
You know? Stuff like that. I don't get it, dude.
The original Spider-Man series, Spider-Man 1 in 02, Spider-Man 2 in 04, 2 years later. The Dark Knight trilogy, 3 years between the first 2. Iron Man, 2 years before the first 2. Wolverine, dude, even as bad as that movie was, 4 years between the first 2.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's definitely not normal. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, he uses 2 to 3. There was a 6-year gap. Well, I don't know if we all remember this or not, but James Gunn got fired in between that. So it's also not a normal situation, right? Like, he got fired because some old tweets that he posted way before everyone got offended at everything. He made some, I don't know, sexual, whatever. He said things that now are not okay.
Right.
Years ago. So, of course, they're like, hey, you said this back when you were in college. We're going to fire you type shit. Wow. And then all the Guardians cast members kind of started a petition and got him back. So it's not a normal situation, which I don't think he should have been fired. I just think he shouldn't be saying stupid shit like he's saying right now. Right. Because this is not true. So, you know me, Adrian, I like to have fun. So I figured we would come up with a little game, okay? Because 10% of the movies having that gap, I figured, you know what? That is not a good thing for his statement because it invalidates what he says, right? But there are definitely times when 10% can be a good thing. Sure. Right? So I have 10 things here. So the 10, theme of 10 here. I'm going to throw them at you, dude.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, man.
That's because we're locked in, bro. But I'm going to throw these out to you, and you're going to let me know if these things, if 10% based on what I say here is a good thing or not, okay? So like number 1, for example, a Rotten Tomatoes score of 10%. Is that good or no?
That's not good in anybody's book.
No, okay. 10% interest rate on your mortgage.
No, that's not
There
good.
you go. No. Your girl's pregnant, and there's a 10% chance you're the father.
Dude.
Probably
this
not.
This is the other stuff.
Yeah, this is the other stuff. I'm going to go with no. 10% return on your investment, like a 401k.
Sure.
That's a good one. See, there's some good ones.
Right.
You're waiting tables, you're a bartender, you get a 10% tip.
It's mid.
It's mid. It's very mid, yeah.
Right.
You're picking up your McDonald's order from the drive-thru, and 10% of your order's missing. Only 10.
Definitely. Well, that's common.
Yeah, that is more common. You're right. You're an NFL team, and you win 10% of your games.
That's pretty bad.
That's called the New York Giants.
Wow.
Yes. Ground beef. Here's one. 90% lean, 10% fat.
That's actually okay.
Yeah. There we go. We found one. You let someone use your car, right? Full tank of gas, and they return it with the 10% tank of gas.
Can I 10% bitch slap them?
Yeah. Here's
bad,
one.
By the way.
This one's good. A 10% raise.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's
there
good.
we go. So we found a couple. Normally 10% is not a good thing, sounds like.
Well, assuming you're making minimum wage.
Yeah.
At the very least.
True. So then there were two others, Adrian, that had a longer gap than 5 years, but these were like direct to DVD things. So The Little Mermaid came out 1989. They made a sequel in 11 years later that was straight to DVD. I can't count that. Cinderella came out in 1950. They made a straight to DVD sequel or direct to video 52 years later in 2002.
Yeah. Can somebody explain to me? Like you go on Hulu, right? And you see all these movies, and it's like, where the hell is all of this money coming from to make these stupid ass movies? I mean, can somebody please explain to me that process where I'm going to go make a movie? You got people that can't, I mean, besides the people that don't want to work, right? Or don't want to do something for whatever personal reason, right? You got all these people, starving or can't get work or blah, 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 blah. And I'm not going to go down that trail. But my point is, right? You got all this money to distract people. You know, mind? I just answered my own question. Just answered my own question. The money is to distract, not to help. So answer my own question.
Damn. You don't even need anyone's help.
Dude, I'm sitting under my own learning tree.
For real. I do it myself. But, to sum up this nonsense here, I'm frustrated as a fan because I want to see the next movie because, like, you mentioned a lot of bad movies earlier. Movies are hit or miss. So when you get something you really like and then they're going to continue that story, that whatever next installment, as a fan, I want to see the shit.
Right.
Dude, I can't be like 60 years old watching this, bro.
I mean, your grandkids going to be coming in like, Grandpa, why are you watching cartoons?
For real,
dude? I mean, you got your casket sitting next to you in the living room, and you watching, the X-Men 97.
No, at that point, the Batman 2 drops.
Right. Oh, speaking of Battinson, right? Remember the back in the days, like Christopher Reeve days, and the other like superheroes, they could only play like one character on TV.
Yeah.
Right. They couldn't branch out and play other movies and stuff. Well, I saw a preview, I guess. Pattinson is coming out with some movie. I think it's called Mickey, or something like that, where he basically signs up to have his body destroyed or killed. He can be brought back multiple times. It looks kind of like a comedy. But it's just weird watching him
in another role.
Yeah. Not in another. Well, this role.
Yeah.
Because he's played two serious roles. Right. Edward. And now Bruce Wayne / Batman. And now he's doing this kind of comedy thing. I mean, I guess it's okay, him branching out, but it's just weird.
Yeah.
But my whole point is that, back in the day, I don't know if they could or couldn't, but you just never saw,
they like typecast.
Yeah, they typecast
them. Yeah. It's like if you play, it's almost like Jason Statham. He plays the same character in every damn movie.
No, but he plays other movies. What I'm saying is, back in the day, when Christopher Reeve got cast as Superman, you never saw him in any other movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you wait around for James Gunn, dude, you'll be in the poorhouse doing that. At least the Superman movies came out, every couple years. This shit, he'd be homeless if he waited for fucking Matt Reeves to finish the script. And I guess that was kind of what they said was like the script's not ready, which I get. But like, then just say that. Don't try to act like this isn't. That's just, it's an insult to all of our intelligences, if that's even a proper use of that word. It's probably not. But it's an insult to all of us,
Yeah.
Because we're not, some people, they don't do the homework like me, Adrian. I do more homework now than I did in school,
Right. Right.
Yeah, but now it's like for a better cause. To,
Absolutely.
Inform all you guys that James Gunn's full of shit. It's okay though. See,
fuck that algebra.
Yeah. But I am, in my old age, Adrian, now that I'm, 1 year closer to 40, I've become more mature. In the past, I would just say, fuck James Gunn, DCU, fuck all that shit. But I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, I've calmed down a little bit since last week. Oh, I'm still pissed off about you fucking pushing this movie back.
Right.
But I'm just gonna know that you were playing your best politician. Okay, that's okay. You're cosplaying as fucking Donald Trump over here. But I'm just gonna give you the benefit of the doubt in the fact that I'd rather you not rush a shitty movie out.
Right.
I do agree with that piece. Just the fan in me is frustrated that I now have to wait until I'm, damn near retired to see this movie. But
having time between movies, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, doesn't guarantee that you're going to have a good movie.
True.
Hence, Avatar 2.
Damn.
Right? Number one. The Venom movies. How long between the Venom movies?
Only a couple of years.
Only a couple of years. So that's a perfect example of, okay, so you have the mechanics to create movies, right? So the length of time does not guarantee whether it's going to be good or not.
Right.
Now, if I was James Gunn, what I would do is, even if I don't put a live action movie out, I would be putting something out because I am my brand.
Yeah.
James Gunn is his own brand. So yeah, he's got the Creature Commandos out, right?
Yep.
But now
Superman
you got another lot.
out.
You got Superman coming out. Then But what I'm saying is just continuously put something out under your brand and don't say nonsense like this because it just doesn't make sense, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're full of shit, dude. It's like, I'm trying to root for you, dude, but stop.
Right.
Don't get, that's like I tell people I work with. Don't put me in positions where I can't defend you.
Right.
James Gunn, don't put me in a position where I can't defend you, bro.
Right. But
not that you need my
what
defense,
I will say is he's got you though.
He does. Yeah.
He's engaged you.
Yep.
Because you ever see these horror movies where all the people like that commercial when all the kids they in the middle of a cornfield and they got a car that's already started,
why can't we go
warmed up, right? But then they go into the barn with all the blades hanging out, and then the guy's like looking at him, shaking his head and stuff. It's like it's stupid, but it pulls an emotion out of you. So that's when you're engaged, and that's what he just did.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like reverse psychology.
He is.
I'm gonna piss you off because now I got you.
Right. Yeah, it's like instead of marketing the movies, I'm just going to keep talking so that Mike and Adrian talk about me every week.
There you go.
And, that being said, we're going to move on to the next piece of news. Let's just hope he doesn't go the Cinderella route and wait 52 years. Dude. Right. You got to recast Pattinson, dude. I don't know who you're going to have to play them.
I'm about to create my own avatar to be able to see that.
Jason Momoa, Adrian, he is in the news. So he played Aquaman in the DCEU, right? Before they killed that thing off. You got the old Lassie treatment or whatever.
Old Yeller.
Old Yeller, there you go. Yeah, you don't kill Lassie, you kill Old Yeller. Yeah. Jason Momoa, so he had posted a quote back in 2023. He posted something on Instagram back in 2023, and he talked about Lobo. He said, so Lobo was, I collect comics and don't do so much anymore, but he was always my favorite, always wanted to play Lobo because I'm like, hello, it's the perfect role. And he says, listen, if they call and ask me to play him, it's a fuck yeah. I haven't received that call, so I don't want to put any fake news out there, so he's not James Gunn. But if they ever call me and ask me to play or audition, I'm there. So he posted that about a year ago. This past week, he reposted that and added a caption, and it said, they called. Yes. So Jason Momoa is returning to DC, Adrian. He will make his DCU debut as Lobo in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
I think him playing that role is perfection.
Yeah.
He absolutely is Lobo, dude.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. He did a phenomenal job pulling off Aquaman.
Yeah.
Not that he had anything to compare to. Some, blonde white dude under the ocean doing this bullshit. But him as Lobo, perfection.
Yeah. And so we've not discussed this yet, but there's a Supergirl movie they're working on, which we'll, believe it or not, we'll see before the Batman 2. So no worries.
Wow.
Woman of Tomorrow. This is scheduled to film early next year. Millie Alcock from House of the Dragon. I think, is that the Game of Thrones prequel show or something?
What's the name? Million Cox? What?
Millie Alcock. Nope,
never heard the name.
She's playing Supergirl. And then Eve Ridley is playing Ruthie Mary Knoll. I don't even know those people. But either way, Crypto the Superdog will play a major role in this story as well.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, boy. This movie is scheduled to be released June 26, 2026. So, wow, 6/26/26. A full year and change before the Batman 2, by the way.
Take the two out, and you have some demonic shit there.
Oh, shit. But this take on Kara Zor-El is said to be less earnest and more edgy version of the iconic superheroine. And they're going to move away from previous depictions of the Girl of Steel, as they call her. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Supergirl. I did a little bit of research before we had the show here today. Superman left his planet like before it exploded, right? She did not, right?
Well, clearly, yes.
Yeah,
and along with the miniature city of Kaldor as well.
Okay, yeah, that too.
And along with everybody that was in the Phantom Zone too.
Yep. Oh no, here's the difference. Superman was sent to Earth, and then the Martha and his dad and loving family raised him, right?
Right.
Supergirl was raised somewhere else off Krypton and watched everyone around her die and be killed and all.
Well, there's different stories. So she got out kind of the same way that Kal-El did. Yep. However, her rocket was thrown off course. Okay. And she was delayed by several years.
Got it.
Besides the fact that she was like a teenager when she left. So when she got to Earth, she's impatient because, to her, humans were Neanderthals.
Yeah.
Basically cave dwellers or whatever. Cro-Magnon.
Okay.
Because Krypton was so much more advanced than Earth. So when she gets here, she's impatient. She goes through all these angst, but she's still a kid. She's a teenager, right? But she's looking for Kal-El because that's her only connection. Okay. Because that was her purpose to go to Earth in the first place, was to take care of him.
Got it.
So she was delayed. So she was in hibernation far longer than Kal-El was. So, she could have been picked up by other races and taught different things.
Yeah.
That's not a stretch, but sure.
So this is what James Gunn is. It's now the James Gunn show.
Apparently.
Yeah, he should just come here and just talk to us instead of talking to everyone else. But anyways, this is what he says about their take on Supergirl, that in our series you'll see a difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth, raised by loving parents since the time he was an infant. So he was coddled, right? He was raised in a nice environment. Supergirl was raised on a rock, a chip off Krypton, and watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life. Then she comes to Earth as a young girl. She's much more hardcore. She's not exactly the Supergirl we're used to seeing.
Right.
Dude, this sounds amazing.
Well, that's the way it should have been.
Yeah.
So when they cast Supergirl back in the 80s or whatever with Christopher Reeve, the Superman back then was like wholesome. Well, he still is wholesome.
Yeah.
But they cast her in his light.
Right.
Back then.
Yeah, he was just another version. Or she was another version of him.
And that's the Supergirl that we're kind of accustomed to.
Yeah.
But no, she should be hardcore.
Yeah.
She should be, that dominant figure and all this other kind of stuff.
Which we saw a little bit of in the atrocity called The Flash.
Yes.
She was one of the bright spots of that shitty-ass movie.
Well, she was that way because she had been imprisoned.
Yeah.
So that's a little different.
Right. But it was so different from the Christopher Reeves version of that Supergirl, which, dude, this has, like, I'm more intrigued in this story than a lot of the other shit that has been teased. Like, we're talking about Superman dropping later this year, but I'm like, dude, I want to see this shit.
Right.
And now that Lobo is going to be a big part of it, it's going to be an interesting dynamic.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking that. And the thing about it is, it's like, and people are going to be like, Jason Momoa coming back as Lobo. He was Aquaman. They was, Superman and Lobo was teammates. And now, oh, my God.
Yeah.
You're going to get all that bullshit, too. So
they'll cry about it somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm all, whatever, dude. He looks like fucking Lobo.
Absolutely.
He don't even need makeup, dude. Just show up as is,
Exactly. Don't wipe the crust out of his eyes and you're done.
For real, dude. Yeah, I think he'll do great. And it's funny, we were talking about the Fast and Furious, that shitty ass Fast X movie, but he played a kind of maniacal villain in that, right?
Dude, what was with the cross dressing and the dancing?
It's got to be trendy, you know.
Come on, man.
It's got to be edgy, Adrian.
That's not edgy. That's just shitty.
But seeing him play that maniacal villain, just I guess validates it more that that's the right decision here.
Yeah,
like he'll be able to really nail this role as Lobo.
Right. I want to go back to something. And you were talking about all these actors and actresses. I'm like, I never heard of them. I never heard of them. I'm actually glad that I never heard of them because I've been saying, you know, for a long time now, you know, get rid of these crypt keepers.
Yeah.
And bring on this fresh new talent. So I'm happy about this stuff. And the fact that I don't recognize them means that that transition is happening, which I'm glad to see. Because, I mean, there's so many actors and actresses out there that should have the opportunity to play these different roles. And they're trying to bring up all these different people. I mean, why you looking at that, 50 to 300-year-old group, to have them do stuff that that they shouldn't be doing.
Right. Yeah. There's so many other actors out there.
Right.
Like, and it's more about, think about how long some of these movie franchises have lasted, like the MCU, 10, 15 years.
Right.
We don't want to cast someone who's 50 years old to play a part that we're going to want for the next 10 years.
Exactly.
Because from 50 to 60, we changed a lot.
Well, on James Gunn's calendar, it'll take 35 years to make, 5 episodes. Or the first 3, which is what we kind of like the happy point.
Yeah.
You make 3 and then we reshuffle the decks.
Dude, when they recast Batman in James Gunn's world, they're going to start looking at 8-year-olds, They're
going to have to.
But now this dude, I'm looking forward to Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow. I like the, that whole edgier take. Like she's gonna be an asshole. Right. Sounds like it. Which is nice contrast to Superman. Right. And it's a cool story to be told where you got one cousin who is raised by a loving, nurturing family, and he's the ultimate Boy Scout. Then you got another cousin who's like raised in one of the shittiest upbringings ever. Right. And now comes here, and now they're going to have to work together in some way, shape, or form.
Speaking of assholes, is anything on Damian?
Nope, nothing on Damian yet. No, they're going to push all the Batman stuff back, dude, or let fucking everything else happen. Clayface.
I mean, he has kind of had a long run of stuff.
Yeah.
And I understand. I mean, there's no such thing as too much Batman.
There you go. You know what? That's the most profound thing you've said yet today, Adrian. We're just getting going. We saw the trailer for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man earlier, right? Yep. We actually watched right before we got on, so we didn't really discuss it. What'd you think?
I liked it. I liked the art. It's a simple art, but it's a contrasty art, right? Got a little Bane action going on with the web slingers and stuff. Yep. The tubes going back to a tank. So, but I'm glad to see most Spider-Man's origin stories. They start out with him making his own costume,
right?
As opposed to him just piecing together some shit, which it looks like he did in this, which is actually cool,
right?
So I'm liking it, dude.
Yeah, I definitely love that part of it. The fact that it's not, the whole developed Spider-Man costume yet,
right?
And the art style. When I first saw a little clip of it in the Disney Plus trailer a month or two ago, I was like, it looks kind of basic, but now seeing this whole thing. To your point, the contrast, I love it.
Yeah.
And it looks very comic bookish.
Right.
It looks like a moving comic book.
Right.
It's not as artistic as, or that's not even a fair way, but very different than the Spider-Verse style. But I could see them taking characters from here and crossing them over. Like it wouldn't be a stretch, know.
I guess I'm gonna have to get used to this whole race swapping that they're doing. So it's kind of like I got a little angst on that.
Oh yeah,
with the Harry and Harry Osborn thing.
We're gonna get into that next. So before we move into that, because the next piece of news is gonna touch on that, Adrian, a little bit. But I did also like how Peter Parker was very awkward.
Right.
Like sometimes. And I don't know if they do this just to I don't know, make kids laugh or whatever, but they make him a little too cool sometimes in the live action movies. Like Tom Holland had some of his awkwardness, but I mean, he's Tom Holland, he's dating Zendaya. Like this felt more Peter Parker.
Correct. Which is why he's so beloved.
Yeah.
You know, he's what? He was #1 superhero in the world at some point. It's like him and Superman.
Right.
Know?
And God, if you pick Superman over Spider-Man, I mean, like, what is wrong?
I mean, when you're looking at, you know, you got to cook, you know, whatever.
Psych evaluation, I think, is the next step after that.
There you
know,
go.
so yeah, perfect. But yeah, all in all, I'm looking forward to this show now, and I probably wasn't before this trailer, honestly.
And it also helps that, you know, the people that wrote, directed X-Men 97 is the ones, the people behind this.
Absolutely. Too. So you mentioned race swapping, Adrian. One of our friends from the past here, Beau DeMayo, he's taking a little break from promoting his Only Fans, okay?
Wow.
And he found time to call out Marvel for race swapping white villains, okay? So he posted this, I think it was on Twitter. He says, let me rephrase. Hey, he tagged them because he don't give a fuck. Hey, at Marvel Studios, please stop race swapping white villains to black people. It reads funny. Then he lists Kang, High Evolutionary, Norman Osborn, Electro, and Mordo. All of these are villains. In the comics, they're white, and they race swap them to black actors or depictions. So he's, you know, alluding to the fact that, like, why do all the black characters have to be villains, right? And why race swap white villains for black characters? How do you feel about his statement here?
Well, I'm bought into that, so I agree.
You agree with that,
I mean, and it's not just villains, but there's so many other characters.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you got the Jon Stewart Green Lantern.
Correct.
I mean, there's variations of Miles Morales. So there's variants of these characters. But, you know, exactly why take the established characters and then make them something else? And, you know, black people villainized enough. You don't need to embed that more into people's psyche by transforming a character. Or Kingpin, they forgot that one too.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Kingpin, the original Daredevil. Yep, the movie.
We don't need to villainize, you know, people even more by making them, you know, transforming them over into a different. It's senseless to me.
I mean, there's really two things here. One, the race swapping, regardless of hero villain, right, which. I'm with you on this. I think that there's so many characters out there that we don't need to race swap certain characters.
Right.
Like Blue Beetle is a perfect example. You want to make a movie about a Hispanic hero, family, the whole deal. Don't take Batman and make him Colombian.
Right.
Just find a Hispanic character like Blue Beetle and make a cool story about him.
Right.
Which is what they did.
Yeah.
You know, we thought the movie wasn't perfect, but it was a great representation. Sure. And, I mean, it was better than a lot better than the fucking Joker and the Flash and all those movies.
Right.
But those characters are there.
Yep.
I think it's lazy. I think it's, hey, we got an established character who's popular already. Instead of taking the time to build up someone else, let's just race swap them to appease the demographics.
Right.
I don't like that. Then the whole other part is, all right, now that we're race swapping, why is it predominantly villains?
Right.
Which, to your point, I mean, you look at the movies from like the 80s and 90s, the bad guy, the thief, it's always a black or brown person.
Right. Well, the evil person was always some kind of Asian.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
And they made them yellow and all that kind of stuff. You know, the black people were always like, you know, they're trash, they're ghetto.
Yep. Bank robbers.
The bank robbers and the what do you call them? The drive-bys, all that kind of stuff. Yep. And the white people are always, you know, blue collar.
Correct.
You know, they even went to like different jails when they did catch them.
Unless they're Italian, then they have to be mob.
Right.
You cannot be Italian and not be in the mob in movies.
Right.
Yeah, like
so many stereotypical stuff, and I hope people don't take like sound bites out of this.
Right.
And then, you know, blow this completely out of proportion.
Because we'll come find you and fuck you up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But there are established characters, like even Perry White, right?
They race swapped him. Yeah.
So there's so many established characters. We understand. Leave them the way they are and bring out the other cultures.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, we don't have the Egyptian representation, the Aztecs.
Right.
You know, a lot of the Spanish. I mean, even when they did with Namor.
Yeah.
You know, they brought this Atlantean and made him, you know, portrayed by a Mexican actor, I believe.
Yeah.
I could be mistaken. But
no, I think you're right.
So leave the established characters as they are and bring out the culture from, for other people. Like Miss Marvel, beautiful representation of the Indian heritage or whatever.
Yeah, I think she was Pakistani, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, beautiful job, beautiful execution on that. Okay, so they didn't make her a black person.
Correct.
Right? So leave the characters the way they are. Bring out those characters because you're bringing out all this bullshit anyway.
Right.
Like who needs a Clayface? Well, you don't need to bring a Clayface. Bring out Blue Marvel, which was a hidden gem from way back when. Bring out recast T'Challa.
Yeah.
Bring out Storm, not Halle Berry.
Correct. Hey, let's have Storm be African this time.
Right.
Like, well, it's black. It's the same thing. No, it's not. Like, I wouldn't need to get into, but it's let's have her actually be African like she is in the comics. I don't know.
Which there are plenty of those.
Correct.
Right? So
the girl who was just in Wicked, who played, you haven't seen Wicked yet, right? But she plays the Green Witch. Like, let's use her. She has an accent and everything.
All right.
But,
anyway, so Beau DeMayo, the statement that he's making, assuming that he's making the statement under the same context as I am, I agree with what he's saying. Yeah. I would take that further and say, hey, stop suppressing the other cultures,
right,
and bring them out.
Correct.
Stop race and gender swapping.
Yeah. Dude, there's Native American X-Men, there's Hispanic X-Men. Like, that's a great opportunity to do this where you don't need to change anyone. Like, oh, you need to make Magneto black. No, you don't.
No.
Just bring out some other characters. And it's like they've done it in some instances. You think about, we rag on Captain Falcon, the whole deal, but having Falcon, as he's black in the comics, he's black on screen. Instead of changing Captain America to make him black or something, hey, bring out another character that he's in a lot of the same stories, and they've done a good job of building up Falcon.
Sure,
so it can be done. They have done it, but I think sometimes it's they don't know how to read the room.
Right.
It's like hey, let's fix racism. Let's get rid of Aunt Jemima on the syrup bottle. What's that going to do?
Nothing.
Get rid of Uncle Ben's rice. Like, what? How does that help anyone? But anyways, that's the other stuff. But now, Beau DeMayo was accused of being a hypocrite, Adrian. You know how the internet is. They talk, right?
Sure.
So Sunspot was in X-Men 97, right? He was kind of main. He played almost like that Jubilee-esque character, right? Discovering his powers. Parents aren't down with it. The whole deal.
He's Dominican, I believe.
I think so.
In the comics?
Yep. So they brought that up because he had a much lighter skin than he did in the comics. And then he says, asked and answered. He responded in the thread. This was a Marvel directive. Crew members and I brought up his Afro heritage multiple times. I think he's actually mixed.
Yes, he is.
And they wanted Latino representation on the team since Storm and Bishop were already black. So they actually had him lighten his skin color to focus more on his Latino background versus – so maybe he's Dominican and black, but in the comics.
Yep.
So, I mean, perfect example right there. Why not just leave him?
Right.
Oh, we have to have Latino representation. Well, then bring out a Latin character then.
Right.
There's other ones. Like, it was like when they made Jubilee look like a white girl. She's Asian, dude.
Yep.
Why does she look like a white girl in the animated series, but in the comics she looks Asian?
Because they've spent the last 100 years making Asians be the villains.
Yeah. Yep.
So, you got to kind of transition them, man. You can't just throw them in there like that.
So what's that saying, Adrian? A broken clock is right twice a day? That's our boy, Beau DeMayo. See, dude, if you weren't spending all this time sending pictures of yourself and doing all this nonsense, you'd have still had a job and you'd have been able to help and influence, the comic book world.
Yeah, or maybe he's just trying to, the next day he's going to come out. It's going to be, hey, if you want more of this content, go to my OnlyFans page.
$9.99 special. This is a New Year's special. But, so anyways, moving on from Beau DeMayo. IMDB. You ever go to IMDB? Look at movie reviews, things like that?
Sure, yeah.
Yep. Okay. So they put together a list of most anticipated movies of 2025. And the way they calculated this list, they used something called the IMDB Pro Movie Meter ranking. And essentially, you ever heard of this? No. I haven't heard of it till I saw this piece of news lately or the other day. What they do is they basically look at like internet traffic on their website. So like I'm assuming how many times people go to the Superman page or the Fantastic Four page, and they look at that data, and based off of the traffic on those individual movies, they put a list together of most anticipated. So they're assuming if most people are, if more people are going to their website to look at the Superman page, maybe more people want to see that movie. Okay. So I have this list here, Adrian. 10 most anticipated movies based off of IMDb's whatever movie meter here.
Yep.
Number 10 is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Tom Cruise still at it. Number 9 is the Minecraft movie with Jack Black. You seen the previews to this?
I have. Yes, I did.
It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, he looks ridiculous, dude.
But dude, so you've probably never played Minecraft, right?
No.
Your grandson, I would assume, is probably about that age. Minecraft or no?
I've never seen him.
You've never seen him play. Okay. My kids, big Minecraft. I've played a handful of times. It's fun. It's so it's almost like I have to go see this just because it's Minecraft. But it looks fucking ridiculous, to be honest. Number 8, Jurassic World Rebirth.
What, another one?
Oh yeah, another one. Yep. And I read something about Scarlett Johansson is in this, and I think her character morphs into a dinosaur. Like, they're going that crazy.
Oh, my God, man.
Yeah. Number 7, the live-action Snow White. You seen the trailer to this?
I have not.
This actually looks pretty cool.
Okay.
And there were some people mad because, like, the dwarves, they took, like, regular-sized people and put their faces on, like, a CGI body. But it looks like a dwarf from the cartoon. People were like, why didn't they use, like, little people, or the proper term is? Like, I get that, but they're going for this. Like, I think too often in these live-action movies, they go too realistic. Like, you seen The Lion King live-action?
No.
It just looks like real lions in fucking Africa.
Really?
Which I want to see a little bit of the cartoon-esque style that we saw. You know what I mean? Like, to bring it to life more. So they did that in Snow White, at least in the trailer. I thought it looked fine.
Is she black?
Nope. Nope. They kept her white. Yeah, Snow White, black.
Hey.
Speaking of black, Adrian, Captain America: Brave New World. Our boy Sam Mackie. That's number 6 on the list. Number 5, Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Number 4, How to Train Your Dragon live action. You see a trailer to this?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never watched those movies at all. So this one is ridiculous to me.
Okay.
So.
I've never seen those. My kids watched. My older kids watched them, and I saw some bits and pieces. So I'm a little intrigued in that. Number 3, the Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Okay.
Number 2, 28 Years Later. So that whole 28 days.
I love that.
Really?
I love that show. Yeah, when 28 Days came out, that was the most riveting. I think it was the first time we ever saw fast-moving zombies.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was fascinating. They just brought a whole different level of terror to people. It's like now I can't just move around them and shit.
Right. You can't outrun them
I gotta jump in my car and go.
Damn. So I've never seen that either, Adrian. And
I don't blame you for that one.
Yeah. Okay. Number 1, Superman. James Gunn Superman, most anticipated movie of 2025.
I don't know, dude. It just feels like there should be something else in this top 10.
Yeah.
That's something that's better than some of these movies. So I don't know what's going on.
Now, of these 10, for you, what would be your most anticipated? Like, if I said, bro, I got early access, we could pop one of these bitches on right now. Which one would it be?
I'd probably say Superman, FF, Thunderbolts, Mission Impossible.
Okay, but your number 1 would be Superman. Number 1.
Yeah. Number 1 would be Superman.
Mine would be the Fantastic Four: First Steps. Yeah. I think there's as you know me, bro, I'm not a big Superman guy, bro. It's like he's Superman. He's lame. He's dark.
So I always hold out on the possibility because I like his power set. He does have a fantastic power set.
Okay.
He just doesn't utilize it.
Right.
And I'm waiting for somebody to make a Superman black, not race swapping, but just like kind of like Hulk on a different world.
Yeah.
Where he has the power, but he's like a ruler or something, right? He just is definitely rated R.
Yep.
And he just have like an arena, all this other kind of stuff. So something that just shows the true scale of his power.
Yeah. Like the Injustice Superman, where he's like, isn't he like under a spell or something, and he just goes ape shit, like full power, no restraint.
No restraint.
And that is when, we hear all these debates about when we say how the X-Men would destroy the Justice League and stuff. from a power set, I know for a fact if Superman was unleashed with the laser beams and all the quick speed and all that shit, dude, he'd destroy a lot of the X-Men. I'm not confused about that.
Yep.
The point is his Boy Scout-ness would be used against him.
Exactly.
Because there are some X-Men like Wolverine that don't give a fuck about killing, or even Gambit, or even some of these
or Rogue.
They're not like all above board like the Justice League, Batman and his rules and whatnot. So, but I mean, dude, you look at these movies coming up, and we got a nice little slate of movies on the way over the next few months, much more than this past year, from a comic book fan.
I'm kind of feeling for Scarlett Johansson, though, man. If you're in a Jurassic anything movie,
I know, dude.
I mean, that's kind of like, But then you transforming into something else. I hope that's wrong, dude.
It sounds really bad, though.
Yeah,
really fucking bad. But I think about we talked about these a little bit last week, but think about the next few months here from a comic book fan's perspective, because I don't know about you, but last year felt like, dude, we're waiting. Give us something.
Right.
And we had Deadpool Wolverine, which was the highlight of the year. Notice my shirt, Adrian's a Christmas gift, by the way.
I saw that. I saw it. Very nice. Very nice.
My wife picked it out for me.
Nice.
Look at that. But we had that, and then we had a lot of nonsense.
And then toward the end of the year, it's like, where's the movies at?
Correct.
Any movie.
Nothing.
It's like nothing.
So today is January 5th. Y'all are watching this probably on the 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that. We had Creature Commandos wraps up this week, right? January 29th is the debut of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So that's literally, 2-3 weeks away? Then a couple weeks after that, Captain America Brave New World, February 14th. So that's about a month away. Daredevil Born Again, March 4th. So literally 2-3 weeks after that show starts, and we'll have new episodes every week of that. Then May 2nd, so you got March, May. Almost a month later, Thunderbolts drops.
Okay.
Then June 24th, Ironheart drops on Disney Plus. Okay. So about 6 or so weeks after that.
So Ironheart wasn't in the dead, so nobody's anticipating watching this movie?
No. Well, this is a series, a show, not a movie.
Okay, got it.
I'd be interested to see shows where, what's the most anticipated of these. On July 6th, Superman. So you got June 24th, then literally 2-3 weeks later, Superman drops. July 11th. July 25th, 2 weeks later, Fantastic Four First Steps drop. Then you got...
Wait a minute. Superman and Fantastic Four dropping in the same month?
Yeah, 2 weeks apart.
Oh, that's going to be painful.
Yeah.
That's going to be painful, dude.
Yep. I think what will happen is Superman will have an amazing first week, second week, and then when Fantastic Four drops, it's going to kill it.
I thought one of them was being released early on.
Nope.
Did the time frame change? Or
No. 11th, the 25th, so 2 weeks exactly. Yep. But, so, the 25th, then August 6th, Eyes of Wakanda, the animated series on Disney Plus drops.
Okay.
Peacemaker Season 2 also drops at some point in August. Nothing in September. Marvel Zombies, October 3rd. And then in December, Wonder Man. And I'm sure there'll be some other things that pop up, but,
sure,
dude, it's a hell of a run for comic book shit.
Yeah, it is. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Man.
It's a lot, but I don't know about it. Doesn't feel like too much. There's times where it's like, dude, give me a break to watch this. It's every few weeks.
And that's cool because, they need to make some more Christmas stuff. Matter of fact, somebody needs to make, right? So we got more and more Santa Claus movies now.
Yep.
Right? But they're all either a different variant of the fat white Santa, or they're like an evil Santa, right? Well, Santa Claus is a mutant. Matter of fact, he's registered. He registered by Cerebro as the strongest mutant in existence.
Yeah.
Right. So why can't they make a comic book movie version or animation or whatever show about Santa Claus? It'll be a perfect Christmas movie, right? And instead of doing all this other stuff, man.
Dude, he's probably the one that whipped Superman's ass in the beginning of that movie, dude.
Probably.
He fucked him up. It was in the snow.
Yeah.
Superman was around the North Pole. He's like, bro, you're too close. You can't be up in
here.
And me finding out the Christmas secrets. He lumped his ass up, dude. I think that's what happened. Speaking of things that are fantastic, Adrian, it's like we're literally connected. You said fantastic.
It just rolled off.
It does. So we're professionals.
That's it.
Now we are not experts though.
Nope.
We are only fans.
No, what?
Oh no,
not only fans.
That's Beau DeMayo. We are just fans. One of these days I'll get it right. But speaking of fantastic, I've been talking about Marvel Rivals a lot lately, right? It's my favorite game in the world. Adrian's taking over. So they dropped this game early December, and games like this, these live service type games, they're free to play, right? So you download for free, and then every few months a new season drops, and this is where there's the ability to get some money from you. You know, you pay for cosmetics or whatnot. So every season drops with, they call it a battle pass, where there's a list of things that you can unlock. Okay. And in order to unlock these, you play, you earn XP, you get these coins, and you unlock them like a page at a time, right? So there'll be things like a new skin for a character you already have, a new emote. So, you know, you win and you want to taunt someone. There's one for Scarlet Witch where, you know, in the Doctor Strange movie where she kind of sits with her legs crossed, floating in the air, and she's flipping through the dark hold. That's an emote in the game. So things like that.
So I can pay to change my skin color?
Pretty much. Not your skin color, but no, that's just in Marvel live animation.
Right.
But so the season when the game dropped, it was season 0, meaning it was almost like a prequel. Like it wasn't a full season. Season 1 is getting ready to drop. Matter of fact, I think that by the time you're watching this trailer probably already debuted. But the Fantastic Four are making their Marvel Rivals debut, Adrian. So you're a big art guy. No, I still haven't got you to play this game yet, right?
Well, so far I've downloaded it.
Okay.
And I actually went through like the first training.
Oh, you did?
Thing as the Punisher.
Punisher, yeah.
So now I'm actually trying to. I haven't figured out how to like select a character to play with and all this other kind of shit. But but maybe by the time James Gunn drops Batman, I'll be ready to go.
All right, yeah, we should have like a bet here on Only Comics. So y'all let us know in the comments. Do you think that we will see the Batman 2 before we hear about Adrian playing a round of Marvel Rivals with real people?
Right.
That's fair. But, so I bet there's a lot of other people in your position, Adrian. They're probably comic book fans. They're probably not the biggest gamers, but figured, shit, I'd like to try this out, but I don't even know where the fuck to begin.
Right.
Is that how, because you're back from the old, no offense, but the old Atari games. Like, that was your shit.
That wasn't my shit, but yeah, I'm back from those days.
But we talked about, what was it at Christmas? Your uncle's opening up your shit.
Right.
And we know that, I've said several times, your most played game is Ratchet and Clank, right?
Yes.
So anything outside of that is like a whole new world.
Absolutely.
So from your perspective, someone who's not played a lot of games, downloading this, diving in, is it overwhelming?
It is overwhelming. There's a lot of menu items. I got to refamiliarize myself with the controllers, and there's like a button for. There's like 18 different buttons on the controller now. It used to be left, right, 1 and 2, and then the left, right thumb, and then you had like a couple of buttons, on the side.
Right
now, there's all of this shit. You got this big. Platform button in the middle. Then you got the power button. You can mistakenly hit that.
So there's a lot going on. Feedback, everything you touch, it's moving. So it could be a lot, right? Yeah. So here, my suggestion, because there's a lot of people probably in the same boat.
Sure.
We're playing Marvel Rivals, and they're at the dock, like, dude, you know what? I'm gonna check that shit out, but I don't want to jump in yet.
Right.
So each character has a star rating, and the star rating is how difficult the character is to learn, pretty much, and use. So I would start with a 1 star. This is what I did. Scarlet Witch is a 1 star. She has a few moves. They're very powerful. Don't take much to learn.
Okay.
Moon Knight, very complicated.
Really?
Cloak and Dagger, very complicated.
I thought I saw Punisher was very complicated, like 4.5 or 4 or something
was he?
like that.
I think he's one
Even
of the
though
easier ones to
he's
learn.
the only option for training, though.
Yeah. I actually think he's one of the easier ones to learn.
Okay.
Because he just shoots it pretty much.
Okay.
So I would take one character.
Sure.
Do the tutorial again, because after you go through it once, you can pick your character, learn all their abilities, and then play a game with AI.
Well, that's the problem. There's so many menu items that come up. How do you even get to pick the character?
Right, yeah. It's a pain in the ass. But I would say that for anyone, pick one.
Yep.
Preferably a 1 star, something very simple. Use the hell out of that one. Then play some AI matches, so you're playing against a computer.
Right.
So you can put it on an easier mode to get used to. Then move it up to like a normal. Once you played a few of those, then play some real live action games.
Gotcha.
And the thing about it, dude, it's fun. You die, you get respawned, and then you just learn different shit. But the reason we're talking about it now is Fantastic Four is debuting. I think the January 10th. So if you go to the laptop shot, Age, you know you're a big art guy. Take a look at these character models, dude.
Oh, that's hot, dude.
Right? So you got Thing, big L Thing. I'm assuming he's going to be a Vanguard or a tank. So these are the ones that have a lot of health, they take a lot of damage, and they do a lot of damage. Those are the guys in the front line normally. Johnny Storm looks like a DPS or duelist. So these are the guys lower health. They're fast. They do a lot of damage. And then you got Sue Storm over here. I would assume she's going to be a strategist, probably a healer. But, yeah, look at that character model, dude. We can see why Doom is, simping on some Sue Storm.
Right.
And we
got Herbie up in there?
Yep, Herbie's up in there hanging out. So, yeah, I would assume that Herbie is probably going to be an ability of Sue Storm's that would help out in healing your team, just based off how the game goes. And then you got Reed Richards. He could be either a tank or a duelist. I mean, with his, powers and shit, I could see him being someone who absorbs a lot of damage and kind of leads the but I like his model too, with the old beard, the white hair. And then you got the little, the Fantastic car there, Baxter building in the back. And New York City is rumored to be added as a map in season 1. So, well, there you have it.
What is that? Umbrella in the back? By the moon?
Back here?
Yeah, what is that?
No, that's the building.
No, next to that.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
No, it says these papers that are flying around here.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Franklin forgot to do his homework or something, Adrian. I don't know, but
that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, nice character model. So
like I said, so why can't you make a movie with that art style? Dude?
There you go.
It would be awesome. Dude.
I think the closest thing that we're gonna see right now, kind of in that vein, is the Eyes of Wakanda.
Okay.
You remember seeing that trailer? It looked very computerized graphics, something looks like something you'd see in a video game. So, so y'all let us know. Are you still playing Marvel Rivals? We get comments every week, and we'll probably get to some with We Respond about people playing their favorite characters. I've been using Cloak and Dagger a lot still, which is funny, and I don't know if this was their intent, but dropping this game, I've seen a lot more Marvel content on my TikTok and a lot more people talking about getting into comics and whatnot because of this game.
Well, absolutely. That's the whole purpose of it. But now, and I like the way that they're putting out the seasons.
Yeah.
And they're monetizing it. So it's like kind of a in-app purchase kind of a deal.
Yes.
So they're going to make millions off of this, besides the marketing.
Right. And it's going to kill Overwatch. So Overwatch was the game that this was kind of modeled after. It's I was talking actually my cousin the other day. He came by, he's a big gamer. And here's the thing about Overwatch, they made up their own characters for this game. So I don't know how many characters they have. They definitely don't have as many as Marvel. Marvel, it's like what we talk about with the comics and the movies. They have so much at their disposal.
Right.
They have so much content to pull from story. That's partly why it annoys me, the whole we don't have a script yet. You have 85 fucking years of Batman stories. Just pick one.
Right.
Just pick one. Most people don't even read comics anymore. Just pick one and fucking adapt it.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be so smart and cute, Adrian. My own take on this. Shut the fuck up. Hey, take the Long Halloween and just do that.
Right.
But if you're making a game and you're creating your own characters, dude, you got to create these from nothing, right?
Right.
You have a Marvel game where part of the allure of the game is the amount of the different types of characters you can play as. Dude, Marvel probably definitely have hundreds. Would you say thousands of characters? Like, how many characters do you think are in Marvel? Definitely hundreds.
Definitely hundreds.
Yeah.
Definitely hundreds. And then they keep reinventing them.
Yeah.
Right?
Different variants.
Different variants. And then you got the whole multiverse thing.
Correct.
So, yeah, it could, infinity.
Yeah. Dude, this game could go on for years. Like, in a couple years, this game could easily have 150 characters to pick from.
Yeah, right. So what you're saying is Marvel Rivals is like Facebook, and the other game was like MySpace.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying, Adrian. Yep. And Fortnite, and they put everyone on notice, Adrian. It's like us when we entered the podcast room. Everybody on notice, dude. We may not be bigger than you now, but we're fucking coming.
That's right.
So either jump on the bandwagon or get the fuck out of our way.
And somebody reach out to Marvel.
Yep.
Since we're promoting.
Seriously,
I'm just saying,
dude. Yo, can I get like a free skin in the game or something? You know, make an Only Comics costume in the game.
I'll take some money though.
That too. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Every time someone downloads it, we get a few bucks. We'll help design it. Yo,
you know what? I'll take 10 cents every time somebody downloads it.
Marvel Studios rumored to be developing a Ghost Rider TV series, Adrian.
Okay.
Yeah, so this, I think at one point the movie may have been rumored, but how do you feel about telling the Ghost Rider story on a TV series versus a movie?
I'm assuming you're talking about the Johnny Blaze version.
I believe so.
Or maybe they even get into some history. That'd be cool. I would be interested in watching that.
Yeah. Now we've seen, well, I have not seen this. You've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Yes.
And the Robbie Reyes version shows up in one episode of that. Did you ever see that episode or no?
The Robbie Reyes, no, I didn't see that.
Okay, so he does show up in that.
Or at least I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah.
Because it was a while ago.
I think it was in one of the later seasons, so I don't know if you've seen the whole show or not. I've only seen like maybe 2 or 3 shows. Now, another side note is Jeff Loeb. He's a guy who, you know, wrote Long Halloween, wrote Hush, big Batman writer. He also, for a long time, was the guy kind of running the production company that made all these Netflix shows and made things like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it's like all these shows that are really good, this dude was there.
Cool.
So it's almost like, it sounds like to me he was the Kevin Feige of the Netflix shows pretty much, which is one of the reasons why they're so damn good. Like I'm on season 2 of Daredevil now when he meets Punisher and all that shit. And dude, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But yeah, so I mean, there's been several different Ghost Riders, right? Johnny Blaze probably the most famous, would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I didn't even know of like Robbie Reyes. Danny Ketch is another one.
Yep.
You did a hidden gem on
Yes, I did.
Ghost Rider in general.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I brought up all of because there's various of Ghost Riders dating back to like 1,000 years ago.
Yep. So they asked Brad Winderbaum, he's the head of Marvel Television now, you know, the Agatha shows, the WandaVision, Loki, all that good stuff. He says, I would want to do the Danny Ketch era of Ghost Rider. I think there's a lot of people who would be here for some Ghost Rider. So how do you feel about that, Danny Ketch?
No, I still think it's a good story arc. Yeah.
Now, what's so unique about Ketch? I'm not too familiar with Danny Ketch.
I believe his version was his appearance was different.
Yeah.
Still had kind of the same power set. I think he was the one that started with like the spiked jackets and things like that. The more darker version of the Ghost Rider, which some of that then rolled over into the Johnny Blaze one.
Got it. James Gunn's still talking, Adrian, a little bit more here. So Batman's DCU introduction that we saw in Creature Commandos, right? A little silhouette in the sky. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
We'll talk more about that a little bit later. He teases World's Finest plan, so I don't even know what story that is. But they were asking about Brave and the Bold, Batman, and one of the things he said that we talked about the Creature Commandos episode. He said when they first gave it to me, we saw a lot more Batman. And he said, I'm not ready to commit to that yet. So he was like, more silhouette. It's a great way to show that Batman does exist.
Right.
So did you like that it was just a silhouette, or did you think we should have seen a little more Batman in that?
No, I like the silhouette thing.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
It's kind of like what they did in Penguin. I mean, except it was the bat signal.
Right.
But still,
it was subtle.
they introduced it, you know?
Yep. So his thing is like he already exists in this universe, just like when we come to the Superman movie and we see that Superman already exists and is already known by the people of Metropolis. We don't need to hear the origin story again. That's just a way to introduce the Batman as part of the universe. So this, I guess, dropping him in this series is kind of like, well, we'll do that in lieu of the origin, just to let you know that Batman's there, which I like. It's different.
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, how many times you got to hear Martha? You know?
Oh, God. Too much.
Apparently one more time.
One more time. I can't help myself. But, you know, it's that whole broken clock thing, right? You know, James Gunn, you started off the day pissing me off, but now I'm back on your side.
Yeah.
I agree. We don't need to hear any of the origin stories again.
True.
But this last piece of news here, it kind of reminds me of why I am excited for the DCU, because we've not had a brand new cinematic story that has a lived-in universe yet of superheroes. It's always an origin, right? Iron Man, origin. Every movie we see one or two more heroes. And then now they're trying to like backtrack and act like they existed the whole time, which is kind of weird. Transformer, all these things. It's like the first one, which is cool. But this, I think, is probably one of the biggest things they have working in their favor is that, yes, it's comic book. Yes, it's superheroes. But it's going to be very, very different than the MCU if they continue along these lines. So I'm here for it. You like the idea of a lived-in universe already?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, at some point, we need to get away because there is so much content. Like you said, there's 85 years of content, and we need to get away from these origins because you'll never get into the other 85 years.
Correct.
I mean, you're still doing year one every time a new character comes out. You got 84 more years of content. We need to get out. We need to have roll a movie right into an established character or universe, and so we can keep moving this thing forward.
Right.
We need the established Spiderman. We need the established Superman, and all of these characters.
Right.
And then that also opens you up to be able to introduce other characters, these hidden gems.
Correct.
Right, that are underrepresented, and then also it prevents these, the black swapping. I mean, the race swapping, the gender swapping, things like that.
Yeah.
So there's so many characters out there. We can just leave everything the way it is. We just need somebody to tell the story.
Correct.
And I mean, if Matt Reeves was a Wall Street company that you can trade on, I would invest in him now.
Absolutely.
Because he seems to get it.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Well, that is the news and rumors. We like to wrap up with a little thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you ready, Adrian?
Let's do it.
All right. Number one, James Gunn goes full politician on us in his irrational attempt to rationalize the Batman 2's delay, comparing it to unplanned sequels like Terminator 2, Incredibles, Avatar, and even Top Gun. I'm giving this lunacy a thumbs down, Adrian.
Thumbs down.
Next up, Jason Momoa returns to DC. He'll make his DCU debut in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow as Lobo. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Dude, perfect casting. I don't even need to see it yet. I'm going to put him on hit or miss, and I don't even need to see it yet.
That's it.
First look at Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Doc Ock, and many more. A black Norman Osborn in your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man promo art. It's tough because I guess the art as a whole, I give it a thumbs up.
Right. I mean, I give the whole thing a thumbs up. I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it's as entertaining as the commercial.
True. Taking a break from promoting his Only Fans, Beau DeMayo finds time to call out Marvel Studios for race-swapping white villains. Like I said, a broken clock can be right twice a day. I give Beau a thumbs up, dude.
Thumbs up.
Speak your mind, bro. Just stop promoting your shit. Well, yeah. Just don't do this. Like, here's my story. If you want more about what happened when I was on the X-Men show, go to my adult website.
Right.
Like,
I was kind of expecting that at the end of that story.
Right. For more, go to OnlyFans. Beau DeMayo's OnlyFans. And no, we're not promoting his OnlyFans.
No, we are not.
According to IMDB, Superman is the most anticipated movie of 2023. I give that a thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Fantastic Four making their fantastic. Hey guys, cut that out. Don't make me sound stupid on here. God, they never fucking listen, dude. I'm gonna fire all of them. Fantastic Four making their Marvel Rivals debut soon. Season 1 dropping this week. Give that a thumbs up.
Sure, thumbs up.
That may even be enough. I mean, bro, it's Fantastic Four, Adrian. Reed Richards.
I tell you what, the way that screenshot looks.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can transition that into the game.
Yes.
I mean, but even what I'm saying from the game, really, I'm going to the game for the artwork.
Yes.
Not even for the playing.
You're just going to walk around and watch everything.
Exactly.
All right, pick Iron Man, fly up really, really high, hide behind one of the buildings, and just watch the fight.
Exactly. I'm going to choose the watcher. So I can just stand by and watch all the artwork.
Dude, that's another one. Yeah, add the watcher to the game.
There you go.
Marvel Studios rumored to be developing a Ghost Rider TV series that may feature the Danny Ketch variant. I give this a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
We don't need to hear origin stories again, says James Gunn, about Batman in the DCU. I'll give that a thumbs up, James.
Thumbs up, even though we've been talking about that for like a few months now.
Exactly.
He needs to move on to some other news.
Correct. Yeah, just listen to us, dude.
All right.
Where is that? You know, they're talking about doing that committee, all this deal. I'm still waiting for them to reach out. I'm still waiting. Unbelievable. Kevin, James, Matt, all you guys.
Anybody.
Somebody. I mean, Tom McFarlane, dude. There's some Spawn stuff, you know. Funny, I was in the package store yesterday. I was getting a nice little bottle of tequila, some Don Julio.
Sure.
And I was talking to the guy. He saw my Only Comic stuff, started asking questions, and it was interesting because I said, are you into the movies and stuff? And he said, well, no. It's like, okay. He said, I used to collect comics. I had a collection, lost a bunch of them. And he said, but I was always big into Image, and then he named another one. And I'm like, dude, my only thing I really know about Image is Spawn. But it was just funny because normally you meet people, they're in all kinds of comics. Right. He's like, dude, I read Image and these other things.
Probably like Mirage or something like that.
Yeah, it may have been. He said the only MCU movie he's seen is the first Iron Man. Wow. It's like, holy shit, dude. Yeah, and I was doing some promo for Marvel. I said, they're not all great, but it's a hell of a story from beginning to end. You should check it out. But I just thought it was interesting.
I'm surprised he only saw the first Iron Man. I mean, he could have finished all the rest of them.
Right. Craziness. So
wrapping it up with the Christmas one.
Exactly. I should have told him, dude. Tis the season. So
tis the season.
Now, are you a Christmas lights past Christmas type of guy, or are you like, hey, Christmas is over, let's take them bitches down the next day type?
I'm a Christmas after Halloween guy through Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Now, since the fog has happened this year, it just seems weird, dude. I was just commenting to my wife the other day. It's like it just seems less Christmassy.
Yeah,
up here is becoming like Christmas in Florida. You'll see a palm tree with some lights on it, and that's it.
Yeah.
In most places, it just doesn't feel Christmassy anymore. I don't know. Right. Maybe it's the power companies. They're like double their delivery charges, and people afraid to plug in shit anymore.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, dude. But it was a handful because I decorate. My stuff's still up. What I did though was my wife unplugged the inflatables.
Yeah,
because it's like it's a little past. It's past Christmas.
Yeah.
But we can have the lights up. But the big Santa Claus waving, probably need to get rid of that, right?
Well, plus it's been like a heavy winds lately.
Yeah. Santa's all over the place, dude. It looks like a fucking bobblehead out there. But dude, there's a breed of people out there. There's a few of them that live near me. They have their Christmas lights up, and dude, the day after Christmas, they're all off, down, put away.
Damn.
Those people are psychos, dude.
It's like the Anti-Claus. Man.
Yeah.
They go out and that's the name of the movie, Anti-Claus.
I like it.
Anyway, they go out and like in the middle of the night, they slip up the chimney and start taking down all their shit. So you wake up in the morning, it's like, dude, wasn't your house like the North Pole yesterday? What's going on?
Yeah. Sounds like the Grinch movie.
There you go.
Yeah, they're pulling the Grinch, dude. So those people, dude, if you live near someone and they take their shit down there after Christmas, don't trust those motherfuckers.
And that's Tim Allen's next movie, The Anti-Claus.
Well, that is thumbs up, thumbs down. That is us clearing out all of the fog that got us underway. Up next, Adrian, hit or miscast. This is where I throw out 5 casting choices from comic book movies in the past. I'm so tempted to put Lobo on here, even though we haven't seen it yet. Right. It would be like honorary mention. Lobo.
There you go.
Jason Momoa's Lobo. There is somewhat of a theme here. It's just kind of like people we've talked about recently. Okay? So are you ready?
Let's do it.
Adrian's going to let me know, in his opinion, is the key. His opinion, not yours. He can't give your opinion because your opinion's usually wrong. Just kidding. Your opinion can't be wrong. I could just not agree with it.
Right.
Number 1, William Hurt as Thunderbolt Ross.
William Hurt as Thunderbolt Ross. I like that.
Yeah.
Good casting.
Hit. Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner.
Miss.
Ben Kingsley as Trevor Slattery.
Hit.
Julian
even though we never saw this guy before. I mean, he's made that character his own.
Yes,
which is pretty cool. And they're like pimping him out over all these other shows and stuff.
Like, dude, it's
funny as hell.
I'm looking forward to Wonder Man because he's showing back up. Like, I don't even care about the show. Whatever, right. Dude, I'll watch it. But
also talking about race swapping, right?
Yeah, there you go. Because Wonder Man is not black in the comics.
He is not.
There you go. Well, hey, at least it's not a villain. There's that, Beau DeMayo. Julian McMahon as Dr. Doom.
Julian McMahon. Who's that?
The first Fantastic Four movie, the one that had Jessica Alba as Sue Storm.
He was the Mr. Fantastic?
No, he was Doom.
He was Doom?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, him. Yeah, I hit.
Okay. And then John Bernthal as the Punisher.
Hit.
So I also, this wasn't in the news, it's a little late edition. I found out that Marvel is rumored to be continuing the Punisher's story as well in his own series pretty soon. So he's going to reprise the role in Daredevil Born Again. And what the rumor is that it's not going to be a reboot like Daredevil Born Again. It's just going to continue that show because he has, 2 seasons, I think, on Netflix? Or
Netflix? I don't remember.
Yeah. So I'm all for that.
Oh, yeah. When is Daredevil coming out?
March 4th.
I'm going to go and rewatch all the previous ones and The Punisher.
Yeah.
I think before then.
You got to get moving, dude. It's already January.
You know they killed him out of The Walking Dead in order to play Punisher. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in that show.
Yeah,
and it's a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, they killed him off of that. And then next thing you know, Punisher came.
Right.
So
well, they know Punisher's better than the fucking Walking Dead, dude.
I mean, which version? I mean, they got 300 years of the original one. Then they got 17 spin-offs. So who knows?
What will happen first? Walking Dead ends or the Batman 2 drops?
Batman 2 drops.
Hopefully.
They are going to milk those teats.
Damn, that's crazy. That's insane. But the Punisher. So, were you a fan of Punisher in the comics?
I was.
Yeah.
But I read him the same way. My perspective of the Punisher is that, he is somebody that should show up periodically.
Yeah.
He's an assassin. He's not, walking down the street every day. He's, Deadshot. He is the Terminator.
Yep.
He's these people. The Taskmaster. He's this character where he can show up in different places, but he shouldn't be everywhere all the time.
Right. And I love his dynamic in Daredevil season 2 with Daredevil because it's like they both are, in a way, fighting the same things, but very different ways.
Absolutely.
To the point where Daredevil's Batman, right? Don't kill. Can't do it. Like, it doesn't, you do that, now you're a criminal, is his, rationalization, which I can respect. Sure. I probably don't agree with it 100% because I'm with you. Like, Batman, dude, Joker, it's time, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm Batman, Joker, you ain't making it to the Killing Joke, bro. After that first time you've done poison everyone, like, bro, first time you break out of Arkham, it's over. It's a wrap, okay? But that's not Batman. That's not Daredevil. But we see that dynamic, and that was like that second season. A lot of it was based on Punisher trying to kill everyone and Daredevil not wanting him to. But I see that, and I think maybe they will do something like this, but what could DC do with the Batman basically playing the role of Daredevil and then Red Hood playing the role of the Punisher?
That'd be cool.
And
that would be cool.
Because they're tied together more than these two, right? Former Robin, we think he's killed by the Joker. Then he comes back as Red Hood. To take Red Hood's side, if Batman kills Joker, that doesn't happen.
Right.
So now he's not traumatized and turned into this killing machine. So in a way, you could argue that it's kind of Batman's fault that we even have a Red Hood.
Well, it's Batman's fault that you have any other of the super criminals in Gotham.
Come on, dude. You're talking about my boy, Adrian.
That's all right. I mean, the superheroes create the supervillains.
Absolutely.
Because what happens, so you got this villain. You got a regular street thug, right? And in comic book world and everybody else world, these are black people.
Correct.
So you got these criminals doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have a vigilante that ups the ante in how he stops these criminals.
Right.
So now you got the street thugs up in the ante because now they have to deal with the Batman.
Correct.
So you got the Big Mac, then you got the Whopper, and then you got the special sauce, and then you got the, any kind of burger kind of crap. So that's what's happening. So the hero, quote unquote heroes are creating the villains. And just like when the police force comes out, like it's some 70s or 80s, some robber, they robbed these banks. They came out with all this automatic assault weapons and body armor and stuff like that. What do police do? We're going to have our own armor.
Right.
So we're going to come out with the bazookas. We got to come out with the M50, Abrams tank rolling down the street. Then it just gets crazy. So escalation is the term of the day, escalation, and that's what happens with Batman, Superman, all these other kind of things.
And we're saying it's all Batman's fault.
I'm saying it's all the superheroes' fault.
Yeah. No, 100%. And you even see some of that in that show where Daredevil's getting blamed for Punisher.
Right.
Like, bro, you started doing this shit. Now he's out doing this. Like, what? The only thing that is a fine line that separates the two of you. He's killing them. You put my man in a coma. Yeah. You know, it's close.
Right.
There's no coming back from death, but hey, coma's pretty fucked up too.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But hey, more of that. I'm all about it.
Yeah, sure.
Is that dude? John Bernthal owns that role as the Punisher.
Yeah, he does too.
Now, do you feel what we've seen so far? Because I've not read a lot of Punisher. I've just seen him in others' comics. You know, do you feel like that is a true to comic depiction? What we've seen?
I would say so. Well, other than the fact that we got a Bane situation, right?
Yeah.
Because he's a smaller guy. He's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
But other than that, dude, I mean, it's almost like his superpower is the ability to kill. Because I don't know if you saw the prison scene when he was caught in the hall. They locked him up in the hall, and they opened all the prison doors so these prisoners can go after him, and he took everybody out. So I mean, that's true to life for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it, dude. More Punisher. Let's have at it. So yeah, Disney Plus revival is expected to be a continuation of the Netflix series. So not that we're on thumbs up, thumbs down, but I would give that a definite thumbs up. All right, moving on. That was Hit or Miss Cast. Creature Commandos, episode 6. We've been big on this show so far, right? I would say that I wouldn't say I disliked this episode, but it is my least favorite episode so far.
Right.
And I
agree with that.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
And it pains me to say that because you know I'm a Batman guy, Adrian, and he made his debut in here, but I feel like that was almost the highlight of the show. Like we saw flashbacks of Dr. Phosphorus, right?
Right.
How he was created. I did like Rupert Thorne popping up because Rupert Thorne is a Batman villain from the animated series.
Yep.
Like I don't even know if he's in comics or maybe he was after that, but he's kind of like a Falcone, Maroni, the mob guy. But he was in the animated series a lot, so it was cool to see him show back up.
Yep.
I did like how you immediately know they're in Gotham.
Right.
When it started. It's all like gray.
Yep.
Like that was perfect. I really like that. It just felt like this episode felt filler to me.
Yeah, it was slow.
Yeah.
Very sadistic though, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they killed his wife and kid, and then
God.
they they got him
Put his hands
all in the blood and in her, slapping her in the face.
Yep.
And that was kind of like, it's almost like watching a fight, and there's a couple of exchanges, but then one person gets dominates, and then the person's down on the ground and he's just beating them and beating them and beating. It's like it just becomes uncool at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
So besides that, the extreme, and again, this is not for the kids, right?
No.
Besides the extreme graphic depiction of death and carnage, it was slow, dude.
It was, yeah. Like I felt like my man Frankenstein was just in the airplane the whole time.
Right.
Killed a couple people, and then it cuts away.
Yeah.
And it comes back, and it's like he's going to kill the pilot, and he doesn't kill the pilots, right?
No,
he lets them go, but he killed everyone else on the plane.
Right.
But it's like, did he do anything else? Am I forgetting something?
Nah, I don't think so, dude.
That's all he fucking did.
That's all he did.
Yep.
Besides, it's almost like they're kind of like making him like over funny.
Yes.
So it's getting to that point.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, let him be Frankenstein, at least one whole episode.
Correct.
I mean, he goes like squashing somebody's head every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's just getting to that point where it's tipping the scale to the other side with this, this comedy act.
Right. And then we see that when he becomes Dr. Phosphorus, he kills Thorne. And takes over his empire for a while or whatnot, and then Batman ends up catching him.
Right. But it is, throughout all of that, it is a cool depiction of how, like, his powers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's burning through stuff.
Yep.
Like, he does, like, the double finger. It goes through the whole truck. That's cool.
Yeah. Or when he grabs, what's-his-name's face and just melts his face. Like, he's badass, dude. And I do think it did a good job, just like the Weasel episode, of making you feel for Dr. Phosphorus a little more.
Right.
So I will say this. Through 6 episodes, they did a great job of taking these creatures, right? That you would be like, dude, no one gives a shit about these. Because that was the whole premise. We can't use humans or metahumans anymore to do these Task Force X jobs.
Right.
But we can use like creatures that are undead, animal type.
Right.
So initially it's like, well, why would I give a shit about some creature that was just like made from scratch type? You know, Frankenstein was just put together in a basement somewhere. But they did a good job each episode of making you at least feel for every individual on the team.
Right. So they humanized the creatures.
Sure. Absolutely. And it's everything is leading towards this whole battle between the princess, her whole squad, and now the ones trying to kill her. So obviously it looks like it's going to, be the ending of the show with that battle.
Right. She's turning psycho.
Yeah. Yep. She's definitely turning psycho. So, I mean, if like you mentioned this before we started recording, even the Penguin had a filler episode.
Right.
Like the one with the brothers, so it's like, all right, dude, let's get to the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we dealt with, Agatha. There's a couple episodes there where like, dude, do we really need these two? Because like, if we would have skipped out this chunk, it probably would have been a better show.
Right.
So I think a lot of times there's a filler episode in most shows, and this was it for sure.
Right.
But that I do see why it was necessary with, setting up this whole premise for the next episode.
I think they could have taken out the 1980s dance battle scenes and just made a better show of this one.
Now, talk about adult, though. They're all up in the brothel and shit.
Right.
That was, it was a little adultish,
Yep.
Just waiting for some, Beau DeMayo to pop around the corner or something. But all in all, I'm looking forward to the season finale.
Yep.
I think it, I love that the episodes are short.
What's cool about that, besides it being short, it's like, all right, it's like the Penguin, right? When the Penguin first came out, it was like, how's it going to be without the Batman?
Right.
But literally after the first episode, and then unless you reference actually something in Gotham City, this could be any mob movie, right? And this show, it's like, where did the time go? The show is good enough to where it's been able to hold its own, and it just seems like it went through quickly. So, I mean, other than the last one being slow dragging, blah, 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 it did have its moments.
Yeah.
But the show as a whole, for me, has gone kind of quickly.
It has. Yeah, definitely.
Which to me means that it's good, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out next week, see how they end it, because that's always I think the hardest part of any of these shows, movies, is the ending.
All right, the Game of Thrones moments, dude. It's like, oh my God, you watched something for years, and then they come, they drop a turd like they did.
Damn. Even some, like we were talking earlier about Blue Beetle, right? Beginning was fun, middle was pretty good, and then the end it was just off the rails.
Yep.
I mean, how many times have we seen a movie where the whole first half was great, and then they just fumble the ending?
Yep.
So hopefully that doesn't happen here.
Yep. You spike the ball before you cross the end zone, right?
God, yes. Yep. And any of y'all that watch football know that will ruin your parlay. That's why I don't bet and stuff like that. I'm like, do you do that shit on purpose? Because you knew that if I would have hit that, I would have won a couple grand.
Right.
Now you cost me money, asshole. So Creature Commandos episode 6. I would give this episode, I'd probably give it a 6, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that bad. But I'm also, it's like we always talk about what you're judging it against. I'm judging it against these first 5 episodes that all were really good.
Right.
So.
And it's bad when the Weasel episode is better than the Dr. Foster's episode.
Holy shit, that's true. Yeah. That's true. But they introduced the DCU's Batman. I like how they did it. Silhouette. I love that Gotham is just like this gray scale place. Like it just goes to show you that, all the shit that we give James Gunn, he understands the characters.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy if you watch a movie and Gotham is like, all lit up and sunny like Metropolis. It's like, fuck, that's the end of it. There.
Oh, no, I've seen that one. It's called The Dark Knight Rises with Christopher Nolan. I've already seen it, Adrian. Yeah, it was like, what? Why is the sun shining in Gotham?
Right.
The sun does not shine in, that say it's always sunny in Philadelphia? It's never sunny in Gotham.
That's it.
So last week, you and I talked about a Doom versus Magneto battle, okay?
Dude, I've been thinking about that. Like,
you have?
Yeah.
Okay. I've done some research on their powers and stuff. I'm assuming you probably have as well.
I haven't. I just been recalling some things.
Yeah, you will know all this. So, and I think last week the big thing for us was if Doom's suit is a metal that Magneto can manipulate, he's done pretty much.
It depends.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
If he could manipulate.
Right.
But now, what I've learned is that Doom has tech in his suit to prevent this from happening.
Okay.
Right? He also can prevent this with some of his sorcery / magic abilities.
Right.
That's what I've learned. What have you found about it? What have you uncovered in your brain about this?
Okay, so assuming that he can get his shield up, that's going to be the big thing.
Okay.
Assuming he can get his shield up, because Magneto's powers are works on the electromagnetic spectrum.
Yep.
So he can manipulate things other than magnets or metal and things like that. You know, there's some possibly you can bend some light, some audio, visible spectrum, things like that.
Yeah.
Now, Doom's force field, it's has the capability to withstand ground zero nuclear attack.
Okay.
Which is the EM spectrum. So if he can get his shield up, he can repel pretty much anything that Magneto can throw at him, right? If he does not, then that opens up a whole different, opportunity. Like, for example, the simplest thing, always go with the simple stuff.
Yep.
He can, for example, so imagine tiny iron ore particles coming at you at the speed of sound.
Okay.
He could send all of that into Doom's suit and literally saw his whole body from inside of his suit out.
Okay.
Then, of course, Doom could, with his magic, transport Magneto to his mother's rapist, Mephisto.
Damn.
To hell.
Okay.
Right? So, I mean, you got options.
Yeah.
So it really depends. I think these two, it would be an interesting fight to see. These two would probably end up tapping out on each other.
Yeah.
Their powers are completely different, but their mentality, the magnitude in which they can go at each other, they'd probably be like the Superman did with the Hulk.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, we're destroying everything. Let's just
Which
stop.
I found
Let's
a clip
call it a
of
draw.
that. I sent it to you. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
On TikTok. Check your TikTok messages. I found a video of that on TikTok. The same one you sent me years ago from YouTube.
Yeah.
It was the part where Superman punches through Hulk's body,
right,
crushes his heart, and then Hulk regenerates, and they're fighting in space and all kinds of shit. But yeah, I used our buddy ChatGPT to help me a little bit. Okay, so
interesting.
These are some things that that Chat said back to me. So from a power clash standpoint, Doom's armor and tech are key targets for Magneto's magnetism. We talked about, but Doom's magic and force fields can counter. So like you said, if he had time to have that up, or if he had it up already,
right,
then that takes that away from Magneto, right?
Right.
But that doesn't mean he can't pick up, a piece of the bridge next to him and chuck it at him, right? He just can't use his magnetism on Doom's suit.
Right. It's like there was an episode, the Army spent billions of dollars making these plastic helicopters, and Magneto's pulled up street poles and threw them.
Correct, yeah.
Right. So, but no, even if he did that, because Doom's armor it protects him not only from the energy of, but also the concussive force of, right? Of an attack.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if he throws things at him.
Got it.
The force field will still protect him from him.
Is there a limit to how, like, if he's throwing shit at him every 2 seconds, or he's throwing shit at him at a certain speed? Or
it would just be a limit of Doom's ability to keep the force field up.
Okay. So if the force field depletes, then he's screwed.
Right. Yeah, but the thing about it is that within that time, he could have attacked Magneto, using other things.
Yep. So ChatGPT also says that if Doom has time to prepare, then Magneto's pretty much fucked.
Yeah.
He could have some non-ferocious armor, or he could figure out how to disrupt his Magneto's field somehow. He has the edge of magic. He is a sorcerer, right? So it can give him. He said the ChatGPT says it's a surprise factor Magneto isn't always prepared for. That's fair, right?
Because Magneto, the main purpose of the helmet is to protect him against psychic attacks,
right?
Not magic, right? So the magic component that Doom had would supersede any power that Magneto would be able to throw at him.
So I asked about the outcome, and according to ChatGPT, Doom, with his tech and magic combined, would edge out Magneto, but it's a close fight.
Yep.
You agree with Chat?
I absolutely agree with Chat.
Yeah. So
like I said, they would tap out because they probably look around and be like, damn, we just like destroying all kinds of stuff. But I mean, Doom could teleport him into another dimension or back and forth in time.
Right.
That'll get rid of him.
Yep.
You
know? Psychological warfare talked about, both being egotistical geniuses. There's going to be a lot of trash talk in mind games.
Doom would definitely win out on that.
So here's some of their strengths and weaknesses. Dr. Doom, genius level intellect, of course.
Sure.
Mastery of both science and sorcery, adaptable armor. His weakness is massive ego. He can be outsmarted by exploiting his arrogance, which is usually how Reed can get to him, right? And he relies on prep and tech. So if there's no prep, Doom doesn't have as much of an advantage.
Right.
Magneto's strength, unrivaled control over magnetism. He's a brilliant strategist and ruthless when necessary. I agree with all that. He's vulnerable to non-metal attacks, sometimes can be blinded by his own rage and ideals. We see that all the time. The X-Men, Charles used that against him, right? Now, their fighting ability, though. So Doom, relies on his armor, energy blast, things of that nature, right? But from a hand-to-hand combat, dude, Doom's a badass.
Yeah.
Like you take away the suit and all that, Doom will still whoop most comic characters' asses.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, he has the magic. Right. So take away the suit, magic plus. I mean, from a hand-to-hand combat, would you put him on Daredevil's level, higher, lower?
I would put him higher than Daredevil.
Yeah. He's almost like a Batman level of.
Yep.
I can get down. I think Batman edged him out hand to hand. But Doom, I mean, he's also studied so many different types of martial arts and all that. And he's a pretty big guy in the comics.
Yeah. Doom is like Batman when it comes to the perfection of the arts.
Okay.
That he did. So whatever he decides to undertake, he masters it to the next level.
Right.
The cooking, he's a chef. The sorcerer supreme. The monarchy, he's not only over Latveria, which everybody loves him. You would think that, they were like, oh my God, Doom, but no, they love him because they know what he's about.
Correct.
So he takes everything that he learns, like Bruce Wayne, to that next level.
And Magneto's more of a fighting from the distance type. He's not going to get in there and scrap with you.
Right.
He can hold his own, but he's not his.
Right.
That's not his strong suit.
Magneto's a sniper. Doom's a knife fight guy.
Yeah. Yep. So, dude, all in all, it would be a great battle to see on screen somewhere.
Yeah. But I think one of the things that Magneto can do to disarm Doom is just hold up a picture of Sue. Because Doom, Magneto with that white hair and them blue eyes, boy, he be smashing, dude.
Yep. Oh yeah. Doom would be all distracted. You mentioned Sue Storm, dude.
Right. I think Sue Storm is Doom's Martha.
Yeah. Yep. That's his kryptonite, dude. Now, of these two, I forget. We were saying Doom's gonna win. Can Doom beat Superman 1-on-1?
Again, I'm going to factor in Superman's Boy Scout stuff.
Yeah.
Now, if we just talk about just power.
Yeah, raw power. No, I don't think so.
I would say no.
Yeah.
I would say no.
Now, could Doom's shield, force field, whatever you want to call it, have a good defense against Superman just, speed blitzing him or something of that nature?
I think he'd find a way around it.
Yeah. Doom would.
I think Superman would find a way around it.
Got it.
I mean, it would protect him initially, and I also think Doom. He's at a point now where he's like Magneto. Magneto has this, low level magnetic shield around his body all the time.
Right.
Which is how he can smash roads.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
He is like, he has this condom on him, 24/7.
Yes.
I think Doom also does that with his force field.
Yeah.
He has a low-level force field around him at all times, I think.
Yep.
So Superman can come at him. Two people meeting on the street corner, and then, go.
Yep.
I think Superman would initially surprise him. He'd probably take him out with the speed alone.
Yeah.
Just come across with the neck, just cut his head off kind of a deal.
Right.
So I think that's that. But if Doom is aware, I think it would take him a little bit more time. But I think Superman would still prevail.
Got it. Okay, there you go. Win for Superman. It's a rarity here on
happens.
the show, Adrian. Yeah, it happens. Like I said, broken clock. It's like the theme of the day, broken clock. So even Superman can win every once in a while.
I mean, simplest thing Superman do, just flick him into space toward the sun.
Right, there you go.
Again, it's all about simplicity, dude.
Yep. Dude, yeah. If you were writing some of these shows, they'd be like 2 episodes,
right? It'd be a trailer. It wouldn't even be like 8 minutes long, dude. Right. Dude, what? 45-second movie? What happened?
Yeah,
flicked him into space toward the sun. That's
a wrap. Well, that's Doom versus Magneto. Yeah, so I think we both agree Doom would edge out Magneto by a little bit.
Yeah,
but it would be a hell of a fight.
Absolutely.
Eric, you'd put up a great fight, but at the end, Victor Von Doom's gonna whoop that ass.
Right.
And then he's going to walk off with Sue Storm. No.
No, I have Sue on the back of the polar bear.
Yes, yeah.
Riding off into the sunset.
Now, if it's God Emperor Doom, it'd be over in a heartbeat. Yeah. Now, God Emperor Doom versus base Superman.
No match, dude.
No match, right? No. He's Soul Snatch Superman, dude.
Yep.
He's Superman's little spine with the fucking cape.
There you go.
Stick it in the ground, it'd be a flag.
There you go.
In a post-credit scene. Moving on, Adrian. We respond. So you guys comment, we respond. It's how it works here.
That's nice.
It is nice. It's nice of us to do this for them. Right? Yeah.
There's that too.
It's nice of y'all to comment because, hey, if you don't comment, we have nothing to respond to. So it's a big team effort. So we have Akeem Amor. He's a commenter from the past here. He says, man, I fell behind again on the podcast show and couldn't wait till y'all finished Penguin. I was riding with every decision he made right up until he took Victor out. Dang, he's bringing back, the traumatizing event we all went through a few months ago. I even justified him killing his brother as a rage-filled accident. But Victor, I get it. He didn't want his enemies to have that against him, but not Victor. Yeah, I'm with you, Akeem. We feel your pain, bro. It's all right.
Absolutely.
He'll get better, right? You spend it with time, Adrian?
Yeah. That's the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah, we all grieved Victor here, but it is what it is. Now what we're grieving is the delay of the Batman 2. So John Bon he says, here's a Marvel show technically set in the MCU, Helstrom. You ever heard of this?
Yes.
This is in the MCU? I've never even heard of this.
I have not heard of that. I've heard of the character.
Okay. So Helstrom, this came out in 2020. And
wait, he is talking about the character though, right?
He's talking about a show, but yeah, it's about a character, Damian Helstrom, an ethics professor who saves those close to him from demons.
Got a big pentagram burnt on his chest or something like that.
Okay. I don't see any picture of him, but yeah, something to do. He's got some Satan shit going on here. But yeah, so he's saying that this show technically is in the MCU. I'm wondering how you got there, John Bon. I don't doubt you because John Bon usually drops some knowledge in these comments, so I can't front on John Bon. But yeah, it says that. Oh, here it is. It would exist within the continuity of the MCU, but would not cross over in the franchise film. So it's kind of like a standalone, but never even heard of this show, dude. But you've heard of the character before.
Yes.
Yeah, you've seen him in comics? Yeah. Yeah. Are you intrigued about this show now to find out there's a show?
Sure, because I'm thinking, because to me, he's more on the line of like Constantine.
Okay. 1 season, 10 episodes, dropped in 2020. And then the reception for
Wait a minute, that is a show that was dropped?
Already came out.
Okay.
Now, our friends at Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 27%. Okay. So that's based off of 26 reviews. That's not even fair.
Oh, but that's also Rotten Tomatoes.
Exactly. So. Yeah. What the fuck, Rotten? We got to bring that back next week. It's been a while. That's your favorite name segment, Adrian. What the fuck, Rotten Tomatoes? But, and then an average rating of 5 out of 10. So it sounds like a pretty mid show. But I mean, we've watched mid shows before, right? It wouldn't be your
mid and worse.
Yeah. Mid's actually good sometimes. So he also says Hal Jordan is the only Green Lantern to kill a Guardian. Just saying, Jon Stewart could never do that. Oh shit, because you're a big Jon Stewart guy. Jon Stewart.
I'm a big Green Lantern guy.
Green Lantern, period. Yeah.
But it's not that Jon Stewart can't. I mean, he has the same ring,
right? He just never has,
or more.
Okay.
Actually, because he actually becomes like a god level Green Lantern. I mean, like I say, he gets to the point where he doesn't even need the ring.
Right.
The ring is like a tattoo on him.
Okay.
So he can do it,
Yeah.
but he might be talking more about the Boy Scout kind of
whether
he would do it or not.
That makes sense.
Capability, absolutely. Willie, who knows?
Okay. Well, maybe John's just a big Hal Jordan guy, you know? It's okay. It's all right.
Well, I mean, he is the greatest Green Lantern ever.
There you go. Okay. OG Dirte. You remember OG Dirte? No Diddy?
Yep.
Also, have you guys ever read well, actually, hold on. We're going to read this I got it in backwards order here. First, I say Happy New Year to you guys. Well, Happy New Year, OG.
Happy New Year.
When it comes to Only Comics Podcast, or when it comes to comic book podcasts, I only listen to you guys. He's smart, dude.
There you go.
Fucking smart guy. Now, down to business. I hate Disney's direction with Marvel. Wow. The story, are they making up shit as they go along? Yes, they are.
Yep.
I'm a huge Marvel fan, not so much DC, but I do like DC characters like Batman and Lobo. Okay. Maybe Lobo was the one to beat up Superman in that trailer.
Could have been.
It's a possibility.
Oh, absolutely a possibility.
He's gone toe-to-toe with Superman.
Lobo is like Sabretooth to Wolverine.
Yep. So you just come around.
Just come around,
that ass.
beat that ass,
Yep.
and keep it moving.
So it could be. That's a good point, OG. You think that the Batman 2 would have been fast-tracked after the Penguin series was the best DC comic anything? Yeah, you would think that. And Adrian's right. If you're doing a Flash movie, use the guy that played Flash on the CW series.
Yep.
And Mike, I agree. Fuck Jeff the Shark. Man, OG, my man. He's hitting this week. Then he has a follow-up. Also, have you guys ever read a Marvel or DC encyclopedia? Have you?
Are we talking about like now?
Oh, here, he explains it. If not, I think you guys would enjoy it. It has every comic character created, and that's how I learned a lot about comic characters. Who the hell reads every comic? So I've read both. Yeah, it's one of those where it lists every character, breaks down all their powers and stuff.
I read the original ones. They called them Marvel Universe.
Gotcha.
And they broke down. I was fascinated by that because it broke down. They show you the character.
Yep.
Tells you like the height, their weight.
Yep.
Everything about them, hair color, eyes and stuff. Then it breaks down their powers, what they can do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude. I went through that cover to cover, dude. And then they came out with a hard bound cover version, hardcover version.
Yeah.
So they called them the Marvel Universe back then.
Okay.
And they changed it into something else because I'm assuming because they got into this multiverse thing.
Yeah.
They didn't want to confuse people. But absolutely.
Yeah, no, I have not. I know what you're talking about. I've seen them online, and actually, now that you're saying this, you, Adrian, and OG, I think I'm gonna buy a couple.
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, absolutely. No, just get the whole thing, dude.
Why not? Fuck it. Just buy everything.
Yep.
Actually, I'm gonna wait. Do you think this will happen first? The Batman 2's release, or Marvel and or DC sends us something?
Batman release.
Yeah, probably. Yep. Gotcha. John Bonvon also says, after Secret Wars, they should make one Earth combining Sony's universe and MCU and have Kevin build upon the characters and actors and make them better. Make Tom Hardy's Venom better. Make Jared Leto's Morbius. No. And you know I love you, John Bond. I think what they should do after Secret Wars, take Jared Leto's Morbius, take the Kraven, take Tom Hardy's little Venom, throw them in the fucking toilet, take a big-ass shit on them, and flush them down, dude.
Damn.
That's what they should do. Flush those turds. What do you do with turds, Adrian?
You flush them.
You flush them.
Yeah.
Is the Sony universe not a collection of turds?
It's a collection of turds.
It is, right? I mean, it's funny because the Venom joke, you're going to be like a little turd floating in the wind.
Right.
Well, guess what, Venom? The Sony universe is now a turd floating in the wind. Yes.
I do agree with him that they should just make one universe. Though.
Yes. I think, and I also, so I guess I agree. I partly agree with you, John. They should
Which
make
is
one
the Secret
universe.
Wars, right?
Absolutely.
The whole purpose of that, just like on the DC side, Infinity Crisis.
Yep. The second Secret Wars rebooted the whole Marvel universe into one universe, and it pulled characters from me. I just, all jokes aside, going back to what we were talking about earlier, Tom Hardy's what, 45 maybe?
Yeah.
I don't need to see him for the next 10 years playing Eddie Brock.
Right.
I don't need old man Eddie Brock. Right. We got old man Logan. We need old man Eddie Brock or old man fucking Kraven. Let's cast these younger characters so we can get a whole. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing. It's like we don't need to continue the MCU as is. Mm-hmm. We can reboot it and tell a lot of the same stories and have the past influence the future. But let's recast with young actors and actresses that maybe aren't as well known as these.
Absolutely.
But they have the chance to grow up on screen, and we can see like they did with Tom Holland.
Right.
When he first started playing Peter Parker, he looked like a high school kid.
Right.
Now he looks like a college kid.
Right. Like they also grew up, what's his face that played Captain America before he aged out.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Chris Evans.
So, Chris Evans.
Yep.
I mean, they gave him, 10 years?
Yeah. Tony Stark.
Wolverine.
Yep.
Tony Stark. All these, they were beloved. They made that role theirs.
Yep.
And now they've aged out. So if you're going to reboot, don't reboot the character.
Right.
Reboot the actor or actors that's playing those characters.
Right. Absolutely.
Bring back T'Challa.
Yeah, dude. Seriously. What the fuck?
Oh my god, dude.
That is crazy. Yep. But anyways, moving on. So next comment we have we have J Raj 2020. Do y'all have any Marvel graphic novel suggestions? I've been reading the first few years worth of the Amazing Spider-Man ones from the 60s. Wow, you going way back. And wanted to read something a little more aimed towards adults. So J Raj, I actually just picked up Wolverine, Old Man Logan, that graphic novel. Mm-hmm. That is an adult novel. One I will always recommend to everyone, and we get questions about X-Men stories all the time. X-Men, God Loves, Man Kills. This is the story that was adapted. It was written by Chris Claremont, one of the OG X-Men writers. It was illustrated by Brent Eric Anderson, and it was basically the primary inspiration for X2. Mm-hmm. The whole using Cerebro to target the mutants and kill them. And then, Professor X was brainwashed by Stryker. Mm-hmm. And then Magneto switched that whole plan and had him try to focus on killing humans. So a lot of that comes from this graphic novel. But I can tell you that the movie's PG-13. The graphic novel is definitely not PG-13. A lot of adult theme there. So I would go there. You also got Dark Phoenix. That's a great story. Yep. You read that before, right? I
have, yep.
Fatal Attractions, where overall the story is good. It has its ups and downs, but you get that iconic scene of Wolverine, the whole deal. So I would. There's a couple for you. House of M. It is. Dude, I can't recommend that enough to people. If you've liked any of the Scarlet Witch representation in the MCU, like WandaVision, all that stuff, even some of the things in Doctor Strange, you'd love House of M. So I would start with those. Any X-Men suggestions from you? Or not Marvel in general?
I got nothing.
Next up, Luca 182. What's up, Mike and Adrian? Been watching you guys for a while now. I think you do an awesome job. I agree with that. Enjoy your honesty, and I would love to see a hidden gem on Kyle Rayner. You spoke about Jon Stewart in previous episodes, so I think it'd be cool. Who the hell is Kyle Rayner? You know that?
I have no idea.
But he says, Happy New Year from England. So we're close to Scotland, Adrian. Not quite England, though.
Well, we're on the same landmass anyway.
Yeah, we're on the same planet at least, Oh, Kyle Rayner is another Green Lantern. Okay. Never heard of this fella. He was introduced in 1994. This Kyle Rayner. Okay. Moving on to Philip Wilkins. Hey, Mike and Adrian, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Finally got a chance to catch up on the podcast. Good for you. Been busy with work and holidays. Dude, Philip, I said this a few weeks ago. Work gets in the way of fucking everything, Adrian.
But it seems like we are a working class kind of, podcast.
It's a good positive spin on that. We attract the working man.
That's it.
Yeah, if you're home doing nothing, you don't want to watch us. But he says, thanks for the shout out a couple of weeks ago. And we respond, of course. Thanks for your comment, Philip. I called it with the live action Teen Titans with Damian. Yes, you did. More proof James Gunn is watching you guys. Yes.
Yep.
I'm equally pissed about the Batman delay. It's BS. Oh, yeah, it is. Hope it's not so that they can figure out how to put Batson in the DCU. Yes, I hope that's not for that. The only way that would work is if Matt Reeves' movies and shows would be the past and then age Robert Pattinson up to play him in Brave and the Bold, but that would have to be 30 years-ish, so it's a stretch. And then he says, keep up the great work from Laredo, Texas. Sorry it's not Scotland, he says.
It's all right.
He's helping us trying to find someone from Scotland. Now, I don't want Pattinson in the DCU.
Right.
Okay. So if you're asking me, James, Matt, whoever the fuck else cares, Robert, I don't want you in the fucking DCU. So, but he says, what if, imagine that the Matt Reeves story is like the prequel, and then we see Pattinson aged up.
Right.
Because he's kind of a guy, you don't know what fucking age he is, right? He looks young, looks old at the same time. So you could put a little makeup on him, gray the hair a little bit. He's got a little scruff, and he could look like an older Batman.
Sure.
And since these movies are coming out in 15 years, I mean, shit.
All right.
But what do you think about that idea? Matt Reeves does a trilogy of a prequel, and then that same Batman we see, 20 years later in the DCU.
I'm cool with that, dude.
Yeah. So Adrian's giving the blessing. Yeah. So James, I'm about 50-50 on that. I don't know yet.
But I'm thinking what James Gunn is doing is trying to fuck it up.
Yeah.
I don't think he's trying to. I don't think he's thinking about something logical.
No.
And that's logical, right? I just think he just wants his own versions of whatever he wants.
Yeah. That dude Pablo's back. He says, another fantastic show, y'all. On the topic of the weasel, the story really hit home. I had a weasel once, and he saved me from a burning building. All BS aside, it was some of the best storytelling from DC in ages, akin to when Johnny died and Spider-Man was hanging with Franklin talking about uncles. Okay, I had some eye sweat under my eyes. Yeah, the weasel, a little eye sweat. Cause I see that. No flag on that. That dude Pablo, Brandon Jones. What's going on, Mike and Adrian? What's going on? Love from Dallas, Texas. Okay. Just want to know if you guys are at least excited about the Sentry's on-screen debut in the Thunderbolts. I know you guys aren't looking forward to the movie, but the Sentry's character is a sole purpose for my interest in it. So let me correct you, Brandon. I am looking forward to the Thunderbolts.
And my attitude, my general attitude about it has changed over time. As you know, after seeing the trailers. So I'm getting there.
Yeah, so you'd say probably initially you weren't when you heard about it.
Yeah, because it was like, who's asking
exactly,
for this,
same
but
thing.
I've been impressed by what I've seen so far.
So yeah, Brandon, I've changed my stance. Same thing. That last trailer, it looks good. And I am excited about the Sentry. Yeah. You did Sentry as a hidden gem one time, or we just talked? I can't remember.
I think we just talked about it because the Sentry is, we're talking about the Sentries, right? You're talking about the Sentry.
The Sentry, yep.
The Marvel Superman equivalent.
Correct.
I don't think I did a hidden gem on the Sentry.
Wait, you definitely talked about it.
We've definitely talked about it because we talked about that dude Yo.
The original guy was the original Yo, the Asian guy.
Yeah, and I was like, that's not gonna work. Yep. Kind of a deal.
They recasted him. Who we saw in the trailer. Remember that when they all meet in that room, and there's a guy who doesn't really know who he is. He's like in pajamas and shit, and then that dude ends up being Sentry. So he kind of like lost.
Oh,
his memory.
really?
Yeah, he's like under mind control or some shit. Is what it sounds like. So yeah, I agree with you. I am looking forward to it. Not just because of the Sentry. I'm also looking forward to it because it seems like we're gonna see some Winter Soldier in this. And I don't mean Bucky. I mean Winter Soldier.
Right.
Like mind control, because he's trying to kill them at some point. Yeah. And it's like, bro, he had that look in his eye.
That's what the trailer.
That's what the trailer. True. But he's been mind controlled before.
Right.
It is not that crazy stretch to, someone uncovered it again or figured out how to do it again. Right.
Right.
And I love Sebastian Stan's portrayal as Bucky. And it's like. That's when you have good acting, when you can play one character in one movie. You don't need a bunch of makeup, a costume change. You literally change the look in your face, and you can go from a mind-controlled individual to a not mind-controlled, which we saw in, like, Civil War, where it's like same scene, it's like that.
Yep.
Great acting. So I hope we get to see more of that in here. But no, dude, I'm looking forward to this. I like Yelena. I think it's probably one where you don't really care much for Yelena.
Nah.
I like her. Now, what about like Ghost is in this? We saw from the Ant-Man movie.
Right. I'm looking forward to her evolving.
Okay.
Because she was like, we've thrown this around enough today. Mid.
Yeah.
In the Ant-Man. But in this interesting character.
Yeah.
I like her premise. I like the thing behind her.
Right.
She's basically an assassin.
Yep.
Cool power set.
And now she has control over the phasing.
Right, because of, his mom or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The fat dude with the Russian
Guardian.
I mean, he's the comedy.
He's the comic
in this,
relief, yeah.
Which I don't like.
Correct. Okay.
And I just in the comics, I've never seen him like that. So even though I've seen him multiple times, it's kind of hard to get over.
So you used to seeing him when he was still the badass,
right?
Yeah.
The Captain America for Russia kind of a deal.
And this is obviously almost like not as bad, but some fat Thor territory. Like he's let himself go a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know what? Adrian ate a little too much around the holidays.
There you go.
And he never recovered.
Yep.
Now Taskmaster's also in this.
Right. Dude, I've always thought Taskmaster was just a badass.
Yeah.
I love the suit.
Now, they didn't do him justice in Black Widow, though.
No, they did not. That
they
whole
gender swapped him.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. And now it was like the guy who was trying to kill Black Widows, it was his daughter who's now Taskmaster. But suit looks cool, I think.
Yeah.
And so maybe they're going to get away from that story a little bit, and maybe we'll get to see some coolness with Taskmaster. Who knows? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And Sentry is definitely I'm intrigued, to say the least.
I didn't even know that was Sentry. I just thought it was I actually didn't know who that was.
Yeah. Well, Adrian, you and myself included also learn things on this podcast. This is it should be shown to kids at school. No, actually, never mind.
No, definitely not.
No, language. Too much of that. Dark Side Raider. Okay. Thankful I found this podcast in 2024. So ready for 2025. And the best comics and only comics podcast around. Happy New Year, bearded bros, he says. Happy New Year. So I'm assuming you're also a bearded bro, Dark Side. Yep. Bro Man Williams, dude, every week. Bro Man, as long as you comment, like these comments bring you up every week, bro. He's the new guy. You were going to stop searching for God mode.
Right, I guess.
It was a good run, dude.
Yep.
I really wonder what happened to him, dude.
Yeah.
You think when those drones got him?
Well, he was gone before those came up, so.
Yeah, he was.
Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe the fog got to him first.
Right.
Anyways, Broman says, "What's up, Mike and Adrian? Last show in 2024. It was. Now we're in 20. We haven't talked to Broman since last year. I'm gonna get right to it. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man looks whack as fuck. Great animation style, but this shit looks like it's from the woke inclusion multiverse. Wow. Okay, all right. I will not be watching this bullshit at all. Just like Marvel Zombies. He's like one of us, but he's coming for a show. Unless you and Adrian make me drink the Kool-Aid again, like before about Battinson and Damian Wayne. Okay. I see what he's saying. We talked about, Beau DeMayo's take on the norm, and I guess I can get past that. It is going to annoy me. It's kind of like the female Penguin in Cape Crusader. Like, just why? Yeah. And it's not even the Penguin character. Just make up another character.
Exactly.
So, but I think I can put that aside and still enjoy this.
I'm still not drinking the Kool-Aid on Battinson, but I've acknowledged that he's here.
Yep. I made Broman drink the Kool-Aid on Battinson because he was not down with the Batman at first.
Right.
And then I keep screaming about it every week, and I got him to turn. So I'm trying to do with you on the Marvel Rivals, dude. By next year, you're going to be a fucking champion-level Rivals player.
Hey, we'll see.
We'll see. Crazier things have happened.
Crazier things
like
have
the
definitely
Batman
happened.
2 being delayed for 5.5 fucking years.
Wow.
There's that.
Why would you even announce that, dude?
I
mean, if it happens, you can, just blame it on earthquake or mudslide or whatever is happening. But just to announce it,
extra year to write the script, like, dude, read a few comic books.
I mean, you should have been writing the script while the first movie was in theaters.
Right. Well, I think they did, and I think the Penguin. I do believe a lot of people have said this. The Penguin's popularity have impacted this.
Oh, absolutely.
Because whatever they were going with before this, I would assume the Penguin wasn't going to be the focus.
Right.
He probably would have been insular like he was in the first movie.
Right.
And now they're like, first of all, Kristen Miliotti's getting nominated for fucking Oscars for this role. Damn. So you have to have Sophia in this. Right. And she has to play a big role.
Yeah.
And now you got Oz and how everyone just loved this story. So I think it did. It kind of put him in a corner to shift focus.
But. I mean, like I said, they're going to have to scale up everybody. The Joker has to become more whatever the fuck he is, right? Even Batman has to become more.
Yeah.
So the Penguin has definitely scaled up everybody else.
Right. Young Lurker. Well, Young Lurker, dude. That get you in trouble, dude.
Right.
Nope. You need a new name. Will somebody please get Adrian some coffee? Yes. God, what are y'all doing back there? Also, love the show. I've been listening for almost a year, and this is my first time commenting.
Cool.
Yes, he broke his comment cherry, I'm a Moon Knight main on Marvel Rivals. You motherfucker, Young Lurker. Moon Knight can be a bitch sometimes. Yeah. So he sends these little, I think it's called an Ankh or something. It's like some little symbol. He chucks it down on the ground. It creates this dome. and then he throws these like attacks that hit the dome. They ricochet and hit all the enemies around them. So there's 3 enemies. Cool. That hit. Yeah, dude, it was pretty badass.
That's kind of like Ratchet and Clank's ball, right? There's this ball.
Yeah.
It looks like an old underwater mine that you see chained to for the submarines.
Okay. Yep.
So it's like a ball with like spikes on it.
Yep.
So you throw the ball, and as you gain more power, the ball gets bigger. So you throw the ball. And it's very rubbery. It bounces all over the place.
Gotcha.
And then the ball explodes, and then wherever those mini balls hit, it just destroys everything.
Got it.
It's cool. So it kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, similar. And it's a motherfucker if you're on the other side sometimes. So, yeah, Moon Knight May, got it. He was wondering, Adrian, if you could do a hidden gem on Moon Knight.
Absolutely.
Just keep up the grind. 2025 is y'all's year. I agree with that. Moon Knight would be a cool hidden gem.
Yeah.
You never finised the show, did you?
What, Moon Knight?
Yeah,
nah.
You couldn't get through.
Nah.
Yep.
The comic is so much better than the show.
Okay.
Dude. I just like that whole psychosis and stuff like that. I'm not saying that I can't get through it.
Yeah.
But there's so many other things to watch.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a little drawn out. But I did like the end result. Last 2 episodes are really cool. Anxiety Eater has been here a bunch. Anxiety says, screw it. Give Jonathan Majors his second chance and cast him as DC's Jon Stewart Green Lantern. I like that. You see,
that could
Majors,
work.
I mean,
but
looks the part.
It's just they've already cast somebody.
They did. Yeah, they did. Who you think he'll do a good job, right?
Yeah,
we talked.
so.
I forget his name. We talked about him a few weeks ago.
Pierce or something like that. Aaron Pierce, I think.
There you go. If not, that's now his name.
Right.
Or,
fact check our shit.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely fact check our shit. Or Hannah Min says, hashtag fire James Gunn, boycott DC Studios, boycott WB, restore the Snyderverse. No, I'll give you that. And no, and one more. No, not what you do. The Late Start Collector. Okay, yo, Mike and Adrian, been listening to the pod for a while. First time. We got a lot of first-time commenters this week, So I think you'll enjoy my backstory, okay? He's always loved animation, superheroes, villains, but have never really thought about where these characters started. I did read my first single-issue comic book at 30 years old. Was immediately hooked by the art. First appearance storylines. I'm 37 now and have a decent collection of first appearance comics. With Jonathan Hickman probably being my favorite writer. Hickman's a beast. He did the newer Secret Wars.
Okay.
And then if you backtrack from there, there's a few years of Avengers stories that build to that, that Hickman, and I forget the artist that worked with him, they did all of that. They're actually really good. Cool. I love the show. My favorite part being Hidden Gem. Well, dude, guess what's coming up after this, Adrian?
Yep,
Hidden Gem. I also don't have a lot of information being such a late starter in the comics, and my knowledge base has grown quickly. I love it so much. Anyway, started a YouTube channel to share my passion. I'd love for you to check it out. I'll check it out. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Peace. Jay from Sydney, Australia.
Nice.
From down under, mate.
Yeah. Don't ever do that again, Mike.
No. He's from down under, Adrian. P.S. Hope the Sonys stop making crap movies and stop trying to make bad guys good. Yes, the best thing I've watched in ages is The Penguin, and I've got Dr. Doom tattoo on my arm. Ooh. Let them just fuck shit up and move on. Nice. All right, yeah. So Jay from Australia, mate, the late start. That is a crazy story, though. 30 years old, read his first comic, and now 7 years later, he's got a collection. He's digging into it. But we've talked about
30-year-old virgin, dude.
Yeah, 30-year-old comic virgin, dude. But we've talked about how overwhelming comics could be.
Absolutely.
Especially
today.
Yeah. But honestly, you've said this plenty of times, like when people ask where to start, dude, just start anywhere. Just read something. Like, pick a character you like and read some of their shit.
Yep.
Go back to their first appearances. Go back to some stuff in between. And the cool thing about comics is there's canon, but there's really not. It changes so often. Like, you don't have to go from point A to point B.
Right. But what I would suggest is get the app, like the Marvel, does the DC have one?
DC has one too, yep.
Get the app because, dude, it'll save you tens of thousands of dollars.
Yep.
Just get the app, subscribe to the app, and then just jump around.
Right.
And you'll naturally gravitate toward the thing that you're excited about.
No, that's a great point because I typically either read through or preview a lot of the comics in the app before I buy them. Mm-hmm. Like I did it with Batman, Absolute Batman, who I did buy. I haven't read it yet, but I read through it on DC. Not read through, but skimmed through it. I'm like, this looks cool. Everyone's been talking about it. But then I go buy the real issue because I do like reading. As much as I have read a lot of shit on my comics, but nothing, replicates that feeling, to your point, pulling open the little magazine paper and doing a little deep dive in the book itself. So, yeah, great point. Advertise the apps, even though they're not paying us. But at least give us like a free membership to the app. What's it, $10 a month or some shit?
You know what? I'm just gonna stop asking. Maybe somebody will surprise us and send us some shit. But I'm just gonna stop asking.
I thought that's not where I thought you were going. I thought you were gonna say I'm just gonna stop asking. We're gonna go there and take shit. We're gonna show up to DC's office and demand that we get a free membership to DC Universe. No,
I'm black.
Okay,
I'd be the first one going to jail.
I'll drive, Adrian.
Nope. It'll somehow get turned over on me, and no, I'm not. I'm not involved at all.
We didn't see the white guy here. No, what
exactly.
He'll be in one of those weasel situations. He's helping me, dude. Stop shooting at him. Anyways, that's the other stuff. Chris P. Hey, Mike and Adrian, your biggest fan from Latveria. Yeah, so he finally acknowledged that he's from Latveria, not that other country he tried to say he was from. Just wanted to say a big thank you, not just for the latest episode, but for bringing attention to the new show, Creature Commandos. Of course.
Absolutely.
I had no idea it was even being made, which makes me question their marketing, to be honest. Well, Chris, their marketing is this. Hey, James Gunn, there's a reporter. Go say some stupid shit. Okay. That's their marketing pretty much. So, holy moly, do I like what Gunn has done so far in the first 5 episodes. Well, I don't know if you've seen the 6th one yet. As always, the music is so spot on. There's been good music throughout.
Yeah, it has been.
And as mostly a Marvel fan, I got to say that DC gained a powerful creative mind in getting Gunn. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Going to have to start looking into more DC stuff, I guess. Happy New Year to y'all both. Happy New Year, Chris. And then we switched to TikTok. So intellectual something. I don't know. It's a complicated name. So we talked about why would James Gunn be calling Zack Snyder to ask him about Batman or Superman. Remember he asked about the trunks? So Intellector here says, I hope he asked him what would Zack do and not do any of that.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like that saying, if you want to be rich, look and do what rich people do.
Yeah.
If you want to be rich, look and don't do what poor people do.
Absolutely. There you go. Aqua Reuse King. YouTubers got better names, let's just say. Actually, we're going to save him for last. So Thick Daddy says, oh boy, Thick Daddy, no Diddy. He's commented before. I agree. The only comics podcast I need, like I told y'all before, real dudes, it feels like I'm sitting with my buddies talking about comics. That was the goal here.
That's it.
That's all we're doing.
That's it. Hold on. The next person isn't going to be delicious, is it?
No. It's definitely not going to be delicious.
Thick Daddy.
Yeah, Thick Daddy, dude. So that was Thick Daddy. No, the next guy is this fella here. So we're going to end on a sour note. Aqua Reuse King 80. Y'all are DC haters. Nobody cared about Marvel until the movies came out, and most of them are trash. Just Disney brainwashed y'all to tell you it's good, just like people think McDonald's is good food and you save money at Walmart. So now, mind you, here's the funny part. You know what comment or what video this comment was from?
What?
It was from the comment where we're talking about, or the video we're talking about James Gunn asking Zack Snyder about the trunks, which we didn't hate DC at all in that video. But here I'm telling you what happened.
What happened?
I said, why would you ask Zack Snyder anything? And there's some Snyder fanboys that took offense to that in the comments. So this was their way of retaliation.
That's okay.
But it's okay. But Disney did not brainwash me about. Did they brainwash you to tell you the movies were good? No.
But you see what's happening though. All right. So you could have not read that comment.
I could have
at all.
I could have.
Right. Which is what I probably would have been like, F you, dude.
Yep.
But in the interest of, because we're not DC haters.
No, not at all.
Or any other hater. We're not a Superman hater.
Right.
It's just that DC has had a dry moment,
a little dry
in the last year or so.
Yep.
So so that comment is completely, but we, in the interest of talking about all our fans, we're equal opportunity. What's the word? Yeah. We'll keep it like that.
Yeah, we're equal opportunity
show.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to read that comment at all.
Aquarius. Oh, that Aquarius King. Now, okay, he's a king. That's why. Aquarius.
These are TikTok people?
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's funny the difference, right? So what's funny?
Well, so what's going to happen next week is, we hate TikTok.
I love TikTok. Donald Trump saved TikTok. What the fuck you doing already? Shit. What's funny though is we talked a lot about DC the past few weeks.
All right.
So this is why I say if you're following us on TikTok and not YouTube, you got to go watch full episode because we've been called DC haters for a while.
Yep.
Last week when we were talking about the DC stuff, we were called Marvel haters.
Of course.
We're DC biased. I'm like, oh my God, dude, go back a few weeks and tell me you still feel that way.
Clearly, these are new viewers.
Yes, absolutely. But it's okay. Like you said, Adrian, we appreciate all of them.
We appreciate them all.
Bad, indifferent, stupid, ridiculous, whatever. Aquarius King, you're full of shit. And you know what, dude? I do save money at Walmart sometimes. And McDonald's food is good, okay? It's just not great. I mean, dude, when you got that, craving for a Big Mac with some hot fries.
Dude, I rolled in there this morning.
Oh, yeah?
The only thing I bought
were
the hash browns.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah,
they're good, dude. Fresh off the fryer. Yeah, so what the fuck is Aquarius King talking about, dude? Your hash brown was good, right?
My hash browns were good.
Hash brown,
plural.
Plural. Oh, you had several.
Oh, several. Two. Okay,
two. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Adrian, hidden gem. What do we got going on this week?
All right. So this week's hidden gem, kind of. This is actually the only hidden gem where I was thinking when I was researching it. It's like, maybe you should have stayed hidden.
Oh, damn.
But it was a request, so here we are again.
Right. Giving the people what they want.
Getting the people what they want, right? So this week's hidden gem was a request that came in a few weeks ago. And talking about nationalities, different other than white heroes. And
there
villains,
are other ones,
right? There are other ones.
Yes.
So this is El Diablo.
Okay.
The devil, right?
Shit.
In Spanish. Now, just like the Ghost Rider, there has been different variations of, but we're gonna later on concentrate on what everybody knows about today, Chato Santana.
Okay.
But there were at least two other El Diablos. There was Lazarus Lane. He actually came out, and he's like a Western, like a Zorro. He looks like a Zorro. The whole black get up, the mask, the whip, all of that. And he's back in the old, I don't know if you remember, Jonah Hex. I did a hidden gem on him.
Yep.
He's back in John Hex days, right?
Okay.
So he first appeared around 1970. Then after that, you had Rafael Sandoval, 1989, another different rendition. He was a councilman, and he got involved. He got involved in gang wars and stuff like that. And then you have the final one, which is what we understand that came out in Suicide Squad. So he was introduced in 2008. 2016. Raphael. No, he was introduced Chato in 2008 as El Diablo.
Okay.
But then he appeared in 2016 Suicide Squad.
Got it.
So Santana is the one that people recognize as the El Diablo.
Got it.
So basically, he was a street thug, right? And got double crossed by his second in command. Ended up in the hospital. He's dying. But in the hospital, he ends up being in the bed next to Lazarus Lane, who at this point is like 170 years old. So damn. Lazarus Lane is the original Diablo.
Okay.
So he's in the hospital next to him, and he basically dies. And he goes into this other world with Lazarus Lane. And Lazarus Lane is either you're going to die and go to hell, or I can transfer this power over to you, and then you'll be alive. Now,
no relation to Lois Lane?
No relation to Lois Lane.
Okay.
So he gives him this power, which is not a gift, by the way, because it's basically a possession, right? He gives him this power, and he awakens from the hospital, recovers, and then he starts to go after. Now, there's two versions of even this. So he goes after some gang members. He goes and burns down his house.
Damn.
However, now this is what there's two versions. Him burning down the house with the gang members in it, but he didn't realize that there were women and children in the building also, so he also killed them. So he was so remorseful, he just waited for the police to arrive, and that's how he ended up in jail. Now, in the Suicide Squad version, he killed, I think, his girlfriend and his daughter, and he was remorseful about that.
Yeah.
That's how he ended up in prison, and that's why he didn't want to use his powers again. He was like, I'll just stay here until I rot, kind of a deal. So anyway.
Wait, almost like, so in the first Suicide Squad movie, the guy with the flames, is that El Diablo?
Yes.
So that's where they got that from, where he did some, he used his powers, he killed his own family or something by mistake, so he never wanted to use them again.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
So, he was in the tank, and he was like, yeah, I know, you're not the first one, or you won't be the last one to come and ask me to be a weapon. I'm not a weapon, because he was feeling sorry or remorseful for, depending on the version, killing somebody that he didn't intend to. Now, there's not a lot about him as far as his exploits. Like, if you look at Ghost Rider, he's all over the universe. You look at Batman, he's everywhere. But there's not a lot on him, so there's not a lot to share. But he basically, gang member, died, got the power, went to kill other gang members, or accidentally killed his wife, ended up in prison, remorseful, then got recruited into this group, the Suicide Squad, to go off and do stuff. And then if you notice in the movie, he even had to be coerced by Will Smith's character to use his power. Right. So, speaking of his powers, so he's possessed. And he draws on the powers from his connection with this, they call him a fallen angel, Chutrell, right? However it is being pronounced. So his powers are pyrokinesis, which is the ability to generate and control flame, superhuman durability, and of course, pretty much anybody, any pyrotechnic flaming person, and I'm gonna do a comparison here, seems to have superhuman durability.
Okay.
We're talking Johnny Storm, we're talking Frankie Ray Nova,
we're
talking Ghost Rider.
Protect them against their own powers almost?
It is, but he can also take blows from people.
Yep.
He's taken blows from Behemoth, Bloodletter, the White Martian, Venom Enhanced Zombies. Yep. So he can physically take a punch. Durability also means that you can fall from like heights. Typically, when they say superhuman durability, you can like literally fall from space.
Yeah.
Hit the ground and get up, brush it off, keep moving. Resurrection. Due to his connection with Chutrell, he can restore life. He has restored life every time he's killed. So he can be killed.
Yeah.
He's not immortal, so he can be killed. And there's different types of immortality. I kind of went over that briefly a couple weeks ago, where you have a connection. You just can't be killed.
Yeah.
Like a Deadpool.
Yeah.
But then there's you have a dependency where you can be killed, but an entity can resurrect you. He has that kind of resurrection type of capability. And transformation, which we saw in Suicide Squad, when at his full power, he turned into this demon-like form with wings, which is kind of what we saw. Now, he can manifest wings, so he can actually fly by manifesting wings out of fire, and then allows him to fly, for flight. And he can also summon, at times of extreme need, he can unleash Chutrell in the world of the living, meaning he can transform basically into the demon, but he can also release the demon separately from himself onto things. So why do I say probably should have remained hidden? I mean, he just doesn't have enough history.
Got it.
To me. So I wouldn't cast him necessarily as a hidden gem. Hidden, yes.
Yeah.
But, in interest of, responding to our
giving
visitors,
the people what they want.
Giving the people what they want. I'm bringing up this person. Now, I went a little deeper. I'm like, so how is he different than the other fire-wielding people, right? So he's kind of like, this is a possession. So when you think about his power, he can project it from his body. He can create things like force fields that are hot enough, intense enough that they can melt bullets coming at him directly, right?
Yep.
But his firepower, and it is fire. His power is different from like Johnny Storm, who Johnny turns into flame. Like his cells turn into like a living flame, right? And then he's also different from like the Ghost Rider, who the Ghost Rider, his power is like Hellspawn flame.
Right.
So it could burn or not burn. So Johnny's power is like burn. You put it up next to a piece of paper, it's going to burn.
Okay.
You El Diablo, you put his power up next to a piece of paper, it'll burn. Ghost Rider has that choice. His power is more like it burns the soul of the person, but it also can be a destructive.
But he controls what it burns.
But he controls what it burns, right? It could be destructive power, or it can like sear your soul, kind of. Because Ghost Rider, he can actually burn you, but your body is physically still there.
Yeah.
Which means that he's burnt or seared your soul.
Got it.
So that's the kind of the difference.
So we're shaking hands. You ain't shaking hands with Human Torch or El Diablo.
Correct.
But Ghost Rider, you can shake his hand as long as he ain't trying to kill you.
Well, the thing between El Diablo and Johnny Storm is once Johnny Storm is the Human Torch, no, you're not shaking his hand.
Correct.
Diablo, you can shake his hand because he's there. He's just manipulating the fire outside of his body.
Okay.
You know, he's not transforming his body into fire.
Got it. So if he's got fire out there, I see what you're saying.
Right.
And then, but Ghost Rider, even if he's flaming, you can shake his hand.
Sure.
And as long as he's not trying to melt your fucking hand, you're fine.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct. And also the purpose is different. And also like Johnny Storm and Diablo is just so Diablo, when he projects his fire, it's like a weapon, like a flamethrower kind of a deal. Johnny Storm can control and even manipulate his fire, and even he can manipulate other sources of fire.
Yeah.
Like he can do skywriting, you know, with his flames and hold it mentally. He can, you got a fire over there, he can like, you know, extinguish it or make it bigger. Ghost Rider, he doesn't control fire per se, but he does project what looks like fire, but it's kind of like a hellfire, and it's completely different component with different, but he also can make it other things as well.
Got it.
So I just wanted to kind of like compare and contrast. Now Nova, she's also a different kind of fire. By Nova, I mean not the Nova Core Nova, but Frankie Ray Nova. So Nova, she was like Johnny Storm. She was actually created by, she kind of like the Flash. She was in the lab of the guy who created the original Human Torch back in the World War II days, right?
Like the robot Human Torch.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the Human Torch is the second version of the Human Torch. Johnny Storm is. So Nova, her powers were just like Johnny Storm's, the Human Torch. However, when Galactus came, Galactus was dying. Reed Richards saved Galactus' ass, right? But he was still hungry. But he didn't have a herald. So Frankie Ray, with her wanting to be adventurous and go into space and do all this other kind of stuff, she decided that she could be his herald and find other worlds for him if he left Earth alone. He agreed. He embodied her, or he gave her powers loosely based off of her Human Torch powers, but of course enhanced them.
Got it.
With cosmic energy. So her power is even different. So her power is at the cosmic level. So again, it's not like she's burning paper, but she can project flames or power that's beyond all of these, right? So her shit goes into like the cosmic, all EM spectrums, everything. So those are four flame or flame power sets, but they're all derived differently. They all have different effects. They're controlled and manipulated differently. So I just thought, because this guy's kind of boring, I figure I'd throw in a comparison and contrast with these other flame wielding characters. So anyway, the gem or the hidden person for this week. I don't want to use those two words in the same thing.
It's not a gem.
El Diablo. Interesting character enough, but I think also that they can do so much more with him. I think he can be a hidden gem. Because with those power sets, he can mature, especially the fact that he can turn into this demon, right? Pretty much. Like he did in Suicide Squad. They just took him out too quickly.
Correct.
I mean, he was doing some Dr. Phosphorus shit there with that entity, the Suicide Squad melting into his chest, and then he just got, maybe turned his attention away too quickly.
Yeah.
And, got bested. Yeah. And ended up getting blown up kind of a deal. So anyway.
It happens, dude.
El Diablo, that's this week's hidden gem.
Okay. Well, that's the first where you didn't feel it was a gem, right. But he was, hidden. But still, I do like the way you broke down the differences in fires, because you see these characters, you just think, oh, it's just fire, right?
Right.
No, so if I can pour some water on them, right?
Exactly.
Which would not work.
It absolutely would with Johnny Storm.
With Johnny Storm, it would.
Right. His thing, his fire is based off of air.
Okay.
So the capability to combust. So he can only go so high into the atmosphere because the air thins out. Yeah. He's actually flown up so high, his flames extinguishes, and he falls back down.
Okay.
Yeah.
But El Diablo, water ain't gonna do shit. Or will it?
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, I don't know if he can create fire, for example, underwater. Yeah. But I'm sure it would affect it because it's just fire. There's no magic properties about the fire itself. The magic comes from him being able to generate it in the first place.
Okay.
So I think a sufficient amount of water or some foam or the absence of air would affect his ability to create the fire.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, nope.
Don't matter. You
Nova,
can drop
nope.
Niagara Falls on him. It don't matter. Yep. Okay. All right. I think if they had a triple threat, I think Ghost Rider might win the belt, dude.
I think Ghost Rider would wipe out any and all of them without the fire. With that stare. I mean, he fucked up Galactus.
That's true.
Made him, feel sorry about all the billions of souls he's destroyed. Yeah. So I think Ghost Rider in this case would just dominate.
That's true. All right. Well, that's Hidden Gem. Stay tuned next week to see if Adrian takes another one of your suggestions, and don't suggest shitty ones. No, I'm just kidding. But see, that's the kind of show we are, Adrian. Like you said, we're an equal opportunity show, for whatever that means. We'll add that to the tagline. Only the best comics for you, equal opportunity show. That won't.
I think we got so many taglines, so many things, so many distractions. Let's just go with Only Comics.
There we go. Yeah, we got too much going on. Adrian.
Too much going on, man.
Well, this is fun with Mike and Adrian. There you obviously.
Go. All right, that one we can keep.
Yeah. Yo, speaking of, so we haven't talked much about WWE stuff. I was watching SmackDown this past week. Matter of fact, if y'all are watching this as it drops tonight, Raw debuts on Netflix. So we talked about with Netflix,
right. With the Tyson fight, the Tyson engagement.
yeah. We had that. NFL's they had a couple big games on Netflix last week. Right. So Netflix is where it's at, dude. WWE Raw's moving to Netflix as of this Monday. But I did want to point out, I watched the SmackDown episode Friday, and this, you will not understand what I'm about to say, Adrian, but it is officially Tiffy time, okay? Tiffy time. There's female wrestler, Tiffany Stratton. She plays like kind of a hot bimbo type of character, but she's good in the ring. She's a former gymnast.
So Tiffy time, is this like being a Swiftie?
No, kind of like her name's Tiffany, and when she's out there, it's Tiffy time, bro. It's like her little catchphrase. So she had. So this is it's cool because I'm a wrestling fan. You're not. So I'm going to try to take what is normal to us and explain it to someone who's never seen.
Okay.
This. So there is a match in WWE called Money in the Bank. Okay.
Okay.
There are, I think there's usually 6 or 7 competitors. There's ladders, and up in the rafters, there's a briefcase hanging that says Money in the Bank on it. Okay. The winner of the match is the person that climbs up to the ladder, takes the briefcase down. Okay?
I'm assuming the opponent has to keep the other person from climbing up the ladders.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's 6 of you. There's one.
Also, kind of like crabs in a bucket.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it is crabs. And that is kind of the mentality of the matches. There's a lot of big moments. There's ladders everywhere. There's chairs. People climb up. They're getting ready to grab it. The drama. Oh, my God. Adrian's going to win. And then here comes, fucking, what's his name? Aquarius King comes over, knocks the ladder over. You fall down to the table. Now he's climbing up. Now I get there. So
these are hard ladders or rope ladders?
They are aluminum ladders, yeah.
Damn.
Or I think they're actually wooden ladders that are spray painted because they do snap sometimes. So they're strong enough to hold these people up, but they do hit each other with them. So they're not like the ladder you buy at Home Depot.
Okay.
They don't feel good though because they leave marks. People get busted open. Like it does happen. So they call them gimmicked ladders, right?
Gotcha.
But they're exciting matches. You can imagine they're a train crash type of match.
Gotcha.
But the thing is the person who wins this match, in this briefcase, there's a contract for a championship match at any time. So it's like and we've seen it when you use your contract. It's called the cash in. You're cashing in your Money in the Bank contract.
Gotcha.
And we've seen this at exciting times, like somebody just finished a 30-minute match. The guy wins. He's all tired, whatever. And Money in the Bank person comes out. Oh, I'm cashing in now. They hit him with the fucking briefcase, cash in. They win the belt. It's a easy way to take the belt from one wrestler and give it to somebody else in a way where it makes sense storyline-wise. So you can take a guy who maybe you think, hey, can't beat this guy. So think about you're taking I don't know, you got Dr. Doom fighting Professor Xavier.
Right.
Right. Professor, he ain't going to beat him in no hand-to-hand combat.
Right.
But Doom's all beat up because he just fought Thanos, Magneto, and Galactus. Xavier rolls out, cashes in, fucking hits Doom one time, pins on 1, 2, 3, he's got the belt. So it's a good way to pass the torch.
Gotcha.
So Tiffy time cashed in on Nia Jax on SmackDown last week. They were like friends on screen. She turned on. There was a big moment. Dude, the arena went crazy. So it's officially Tiffy time in SmackDown. And then this show tonight, actually, by the time you're watching this, you've probably already seen it. You got CM Punk, Seth Rollins going one-on-one. You got Roman Reigns. You got Solo, so the whole bloodline. So a lot going on WWE-wise. So if y'all check it out, let me know what you think, and we'll talk about the results next week, this big Raw on Netflix. So
Is Tiffany going to show up in the MCU?
possibly. Maybe Tiffy time in I don't know, Secret Wars.
Hey,
she cashes in. You never know. So anyways, we're gonna cash out now, Adrian, as they say. It's like you've lost enough, just cash me out, dude.
Right.
But we're coming to the twilight of this show. Okay.
Twilight.
It's been a hell of a ride, right? As always. And this is what we call agree to disagree.
All right.
So I'm going to throw out, I got about 7 this week, lucky number 7.
All right.
Bit too many 666 today. I had to offset.
Right.
You got the El Diablo, you got movies dropping 6. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on. But we're going to end with the lucky number 7. So are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's fucking go.
All right. Now, this first one, Adrian, I don't even know if you can answer, but you can, because who cares? We don't have a lot of rules here.
Sure.
Marvel Rivals had guys, cut that out too.
Right.
If they actually weren't laying around doing nothing, I wouldn't have misspoke right there.
Exactly.
So, God, shit, wake up. Anyways, we'll rewind. Start that over. Okay, number 1. Marvel Rivals has soloed Overwatch. They're cooked, as the kids say, and Fortnite is next.
What's the segment?
This is agree to disagree.
Based on the popularity, I would agree.
Okay. And thing is, 20 million players in the first week or so. Yeah, so it's taking over. I actually do think Overwatch is done.
Just think about that, dude. If 20 million players and they do a in-app purchase.
Yep.
And instantly just spend $1, dude.
Right. And most of them are only a few bucks, dude.
Right.
Yep.
That's insane.
Craziness. And not all 20 million, but say...
No, on average. Let's say average.
Yeah. Say a quarter of them buy something, dude. I mean, you're talking 5 million people.
Right.
Buy something for $1. It's $5 million right there.
Yep.
So we gotta start making video games, Adrian.
That's
What are we here doing this for? Number 2, stop race swapping characters and just use existing characters of whatever race you want to include.
Agree.
With over 85 years of Batman comic stories to pull from, there's no excuse for delaying Batman 2 another year.
Absolutely not.
God Emperor Doom would one-shot Superman.
Absolutely.
Jason Momoa as Lobo is comic casting perfection.
Comic casting perfection.
People that take their Christmas decorations and lights down the day after Christmas need to be admitted. They're not.
I'm going to disagree on that.
Okay.
I mean, teach his own.
Yeah, okay, all right. But I stand by, there's something fucking wrong with those people. Nope, don't let them watch your kids. Don't let them watch your dogs. Is something wrong with them, Adrian.
Now, the fact that they sneaking up that chimney in the middle of the night and you wake up the next morning and that shit's gone, that's a bit much.
Bro, Santa's taking a bite out of the cookies and you're behind him just like, taking the tree down and shit. Like, dude, give it a couple. It's okay a little bit. I mean, you say up to Valentine's Day.
Right.
I was just going to say like, hey, first week of January, dude. Just slowly putting them away, But anyways, and last but not least, Only Comics is the best show, best comic podcast out there. If you're watching now on TikTok, take your ass to YouTube and subscribe to us.
Absolutely.
Or Spotify, whatever you're
wherever we are.
Yeah, wherever. But we appreciate y'all checking us out. Next week, Adrian, we're going to have the season finale of Creature Commandos. I'm thinking we had not a lot going on. We're going to go on a run real soon where there's plenty of movies and shows every week. I'm thinking we rewatch a movie, Adrian, something for next week. So, and I don't even know where to go. I'll ask you, should we watch one that is known as being very good or one that is, known as not being very good?
I'm okay with the not good, but at least I got to get through it.
Okay.
Right? So it's got to... that's my minimal.
All right.
I got to be able to get through the movie.
I'm going to let you pick. I'll give you two options here. The original Fantastic Four movie with our boy Julian McMahon and Jessica Alba, Chris Evans as Human Torch, right? Yep. So we watch that one, or we can go, let's think of the original Daredevil with Ben Affleck.
Actually, as far that's actually a toss up.
Yeah,
that's actually a good toss up. Because for the time, they were actually pretty good.
They were good for the time.
Just because it's corny, and just because of the season, let's do the Fantastic Four.
Let's do it. All right, and dude, this is cool because I've not seen this movie since it came out.
Nor have I.
I do not remember much. I just know that there's a fucking cloud called Galactus.
right.
I know that. And I know that we've seen,
Wait a minute. Was that the first one?
Oh, that might have been the second one.
No, I think that was the second one.
You're right. I do know that it feels very CW-ish.
Right.
It looks like a made-for-TV movie.
The only thing good about that show was Jessica Alba, number one, and the Fantastic Car. That was a cool rendition of the Fantastic Car.
All right, so there you have. We'll watch the OG Fantastic Four. Because we're getting ready for the new one later this year, so we might as well watch the old one and remind us of the good old days.
It's unfortunate that guy that played Reed Richards, he has not been able to get his foothold in acting, dude. He's been played in random stuff.
Yep.
I remember one. He was playing this immortal guy.
Okay.
He was like a old shopkeeper of antiquities or something.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good show, and then he just went away.
Damn.
So he just has not been able to get cast in something that he can just call his own.
Shit.
I mean, I like him as an actor too.
Yeah. Did you like him as Reed?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
His name, it's like Ian Grufford. Ioan is his first name. I guess would that be a weird spelling of Ian?
Yeah, probably.
And then Gruffud. That's the problem. The name, dude.
There you go.
I mean, what's his name? Who's the guy from 3.5 Men? The Charlie Sheen. Changed his name, right, for acting. Charlie Sheen. Vin Diesel. Believe it or not, that's not his birth name.
Right.
He's not Vin Diesel.
I mean, today, if you can get away with, corn sweat. I mean, it's about timing.
Correct.
If he was cast today, he would probably have a better run.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'm excited to watch this for what it's worth. It being, and I don't remember any of it, but I do remember it being cool just seeing Fantastic Four on screen.
Right.
But to your point, you've talked about how they've not nailed them yet, but it'd be good to see it a few months before MCU's attempt.
It'll be a good compare and contrast when the new Fantastic Four comes
absolutely.
out.
So y'all, you guys watch it too. So next week, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see who does. There's got to be people out there that love this movie.
Sure.
Right? Like there is always cult followings for most movies except for Madam Web.
I mean, if you like Morbius and like Jay Leto as Joker, I mean, of course you like.
Somebody, Adrian, a week ago said The Flash is the best comic book movie they've ever seen.
So
there are those people out there. I bet that dude took his Christmas lights off on Christmas Eve, probably. He had it all fucked up. So, anyways, but another week here on Fun with Mike and Adrian / Only Comics. We appreciate y'all checking us out. First episode of the year, Adrian.
Yep, absolutely.
And the only place you're going to see the Batman 2 and Oz is right here on our fucking table for a handful of years. So, we appreciate y'all checking us out. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate the merch orders. We had some merch orders throughout Christmas. Christmas Eve, somebody woke up and was like, you know what, buy some stuff. So absolutely hit up onlycomicsmerch.com where you can get, as you put it, these fetching shirts and hats. Okay. And I guess until next week, as they say. So, Adrian, thanks for coming out. We'll see you guys next week. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with your friends, your neighbors. Good way to piss off your neighbors, too, is play us talking shit really loud in the middle of the night.
Loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, anyways, we'll see you next week right here on Only Comics.
Peace.